back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Found it. Wait, I found it. Hey, yeah. Six gotta exit chat first. Duh. Hey, Clarinetta. Hey, Sixla. Yeah, child. Yeah, yeah. Dorothy, Pete. Okay, so we are back. And let me get over here to where it talks about her threat. And let me go here. What is this the one where she was being sued?
Last question. Do you have advice for the president, whom you know? You said you spoke by phone. I know you've been a supporter of his for a long time. So you're not going to try to have the case dismissed?
I certainly do not want to have the case dismissed.
Amazing.
Yeah, and ones that brought it into the court.
Oh, I'm moving to. Oh, it's doing its own thing. Yeah, somebody trying to tap off into my system. I know I don't know why they did not know that I had like 3 and 4 part verification. Where they're trying to hack off into. They mad. Somebody mad. They're trying to hack off into my stuff. Why would I be getting a? What did it say? Oh wow, they done. Oh wow, they didn't like us watching. They didn't like us watching that rally. They didn't like nothing about that last that live. I done got hit here and hit there. Microsoft trying to come in and doing the verification. I'm like, a verification for what? No. No verification needed. Somebody trying to hack off in there? Nope. So listen, y'all, here. Are y'all with me? Can y'all hear me? Oh, wow, no. Trying to get up close and personal. Are y'all with me? Can y'all hear? Okay. Shout out to I'ma say the B lady. Thank you for following back up with me. I had saw a content creator earlier today who had made mention of it, and I had saw it earlier. I just didn't read it. I don't know. I guess I didn't. Well, heck, maybe because I was just too busy. And, you know, I know that if there was really a threat going on, that Candace would tell her own story. So I didn't, in my mind, I guess I didn't need to move hastily because we follow Candace. But then she reached back out to me, so shout out to her, and said, go here. And she explained it. So here we go, y'all. Urgent. Y'all see it? 2 days ago, she said she was contacted. Are y'all able to see it? I don't want y'all to read it for yourself. We can read it together. Let me know when I need to move it up, so that we will have no misunderstandings. Nobody can say I told them nothing. They're going to read it for themselves, because right now I know I'm being watched. Somebody tried to hack up into my system and the password didn't work. And so they, I guess, tried to change my password. And I got a verification. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. My. Are y'all reading it? The French government, after determining this person's position, proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough. Oh, Lord. Y'all see what just happened? We was reading, wasn't it? Wow. That's a cute picture of her. That really is a cute picture of her. I have no idea where I'm at. I don't know how I got here, but this is a cute picture of her. Very cute picture of Candace. Now, why is it showing all my business? I do not know. Hold on, y'all. Let's get back to where we were. It just started doing some kooky. Hold on. It don't matter. I got it clipped. So even if it disappears, I got it clipped. How about that? Let me do it this way. Okay, let's go. Y'all see it now? So now I'm holding it, so I can't read it. Are y'all able to read it? It's the macarons. Okay, the person claimed that the macarons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Do y'all see that? Yes, you read that correctly. Oh, wow. The green light was given. A small town. Gina Marie Intervention Group. Y'all, this is way too hit. Oh, to go Israel. And told that there is one Israeli, I'm sorry, that is an assassination squad. And the plan was formalized. Y'all see this? Wow, bless her heart, Lord. Please protect this young lady, her and her family. Oh my God. So let's watch. Let's go in. Cause I want us to be prepared and know what's going on. Since they feel the need to assassinate. So when she said the other day it was for her. Wow. Y'all, this is way too much. But let's go in. Let's go in. I'm not familiar with it. I never watched it with this Brigitte lady. I saw that she won a case, and I think another. Oh, okay. Let me go back to this, because this may tell us a little bit about what's going on as well. Because I think this guy right here is... Ooh, wee, baby. I keep getting these messages. I hope y'all, if y'all want to watch it, because that video...
What's the relationship between Macron and Justin Trudeau? They just remind me of each other. They
may
seem
not
like
be up long.
they're from the same factory line assembly, World
Well,
Economic Forum.
Macron is very clearly a homosexual. I think that's very obvious. People have come out and talked about sleeping with him, and he's never sued them for anything. Very weird.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When he became president, there was and I'm blanking on his name, he came out and spoke and said, watch out for Macron. He's got some issues. He said that he was a part of a sex party with him. Macron never disputed it. And since he likes to sue for defamation, that would have been a pretty good one to go after if a guy is saying he slept with you and that you have mental issues, like that he's like almost like a masochist in many ways.
What's the relationship between Macron and Justin Trudeau? They just remind me of each other. They seem like they're
part of the same cult.
Factory line assembly, World
Well,
Economic Forum.
Macron is very clearly
Secret
homosexual.
society.
I think that's very obvious. People have come out and talked about sleeping with him, and he's never sued them for anything. Very weird.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When he became president, there was and I'm blanking on his name, he came out and spoke and said, watch out for Macron. He's got some issues. He said that he was a part of a sex party with him. Macron never disputed it. And since he likes to sue for defamation, that would have been a pretty good one to go after if a guy is saying he slept with you and that you have mental issues, like that he's like almost like a masochist in many ways.
What's the
Hold on. Let's
Either being
Lord, I'm so
agnostic or
sorry.
being
There you go.
outwardly
I'm sorry.
atheistic. I think the people that are in control are being pulled by.
Oh, they're not atheists.
They're not atheists at all.
No. Has there been since Rome really a whole class of depraved people with this much power?
Like Sigmund Freud. I
Y'all
kind of
can
said
hear
something
now,
on my show
right?
about how like Sigmund Freud was like a pervert and getting into children and incest, his whole theory, blaming the children for their parents being incestuous, and the reaction across the press, like how dare she? I'm like, he's dead. Why are you defending this guy?
Not American.
He did present a theory that these children who were being raped by their fathers were actually attracted to them. Why are you defending this? And then I got educated about it and started reading books, stunned. Like, yes,
That is sick.
this is actually something that he was doing, and I learned this from
That
the
is
person who
sick.
controlled the Sigmund Freud archives, who wrote this amazing book called The
How
Assault
you
on Truth.
attracted
That
to your
actually,
parents?
even though we see all this evidence that these kids are being raped, it is their fault because they're attracted to their fathers. He got kicked out of the archives.
How you
For telling
attracted
the
to your
truth.
father?
Very famous case.
Oh yeah, he got kicked out, but he wrote the book still because he still had the letters. He
Wow.
published the letters to prove that Sigmund Freud knew for a fact these kids were being raped.
Boy, was he attacked for that too.
Then you have to press further and go, what is the theology here? Because everything, as my husband has taught me, is a theology. And while the rest of the world is being driven towards either being agnostic or being outwardly atheistic, I think the people that are in control are being pulled by...
Oh, they're not atheists.
They're not atheists at all.
No.
Wow.
Last question. Do you have advice for the president, whom you know? You said you spoke by phone. I know you've been a supporter of his for a long time, but do you have advice for him now?
Yes, my advice to him would be my advice to very many people who I've
Very
seen
deep water.
become very big and then get very small, or have their supporters turn on them, which is, don't ever get to the point where you think you're smarter than your audience. And I think that for Trump right now, and I'm speaking specifically about the gaslighting of, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and then saying, I don't want any supporters that are still into this, that means that you see yourself as a king and you've stopped listening. You're not responding to the movement anymore. What made us get behind you was that, despite the fact that we knew you were this boisterous billionaire, was that you had a way of communicating with and understanding how people felt, right? The blue collar worker, how that person felt, the person that's listening to you, the truck driver, the plumbers. And when you respond with, well, I don't want your support, or gaslighting, you know, you've lost touch a little bit.
What?
Last question. Do you have advice for the president, whom
I don't
you know?
ever think
You
that
said
he
you
was in
spoke by
tune
phone.
to
I know
the
you've
middle
been a
class.
supporter of his for a long time, but do you have advice for him now?
Yes, my advice to him would be my advice to very many people who I've seen
Is that
become
what
very
people
big
really
and then
thought?
get very small, or have their supporters turn on them, which is, don't ever get to the point where you think
A
you're smarter than
wolf
your
in
audience.
sheep
And I
clothing.
think that for Trump right now, and I'm speaking specifically about the gaslighting of, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and then saying, I don't want any supporters that are still into this, that means that you see yourself as a king and you've
Wow.
stopped listening. You're not responding to the movement anymore. What made us get behind you was that, despite the fact that we knew you were this boisterous billionaire, was that you had a way of communicating with and understanding how people felt, right? The blue collar worker, how that person felt, the person that's listening. Fighting, you know, you've lost touch a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
So you're not going to try to have the case dismissed?
I certainly do not want to have the case dismissed.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I've
and
never
so
heard that
we're having,
before.
I mean, we're having these
Hey, guys, I
discussions.
just want to linger on this for a moment, having been around a lot of lawsuits. I've never heard anybody sued, particularly, they're spending a lot of money on this. I've never heard anybody say, I don't want a well-funded case against me to be dismissed.
It's how I feel, and the reason that I feel that way
That's
truly,
amazing.
Tucker, is because
You're being
this is
serious.
so much bigger.
How does Macron collect, as a foreign head of state, how does he collect?
There is nothing that we can look at. We are pioneering this, obviously, because this has never happened in the history of the world, that a sitting president of a foreign country has sued a journalist and a podcaster in another country. It's never happened. I hope the story of Candace Owens, over the last 2 years, people have come to understand that money is not my master.
I think that's very obvious to everyone.
Wow. That's pretty deep. Okay, so let's get to oh wow, that's pretty deep, y'all. And it was not dismissed. And now they have put paid. The assassin has been paid. We're gonna watch two videos about this case, okay? We're gonna watch two, let me see. Dang, it's really three resolved to give evidence. Oh, wow. Dark past. Let's go here first.
So, chat, how's everybody doing? Oh, you want to see me in my life? Say less. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, you guys, happy Monday. And let me just start by saying you are not going to believe me. It's one of those episodes where I have to promise you guys ahead of time that I'm definitely telling the truth. You can look it up yourselves because you're going to think, how could it be so? And of course, it's about Brigitte. And it also involves another man with a very particular skill set, I would say, involving my lawsuit. And when I tell you what this man is known for, you're just going to pass away. That's how I felt when I was
Wow.
reading into this. I was like, I'm done here. Also, Dan Bongino is in the news. He is the deputy director of the FBI. He was trending over the weekend for sending a tweet that essentially was signaling that he saw something in the deep state that has scared him, and everyone's wondering what it is. I have an idea of what it might be, so let's just go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. Welcome back to Candace. Listen to you. We listened to your podcast for years.
Can y'all
Why
hear
aren't you
now? I'm
speaking out?
sorry.
Very big podcast. He made it
Can y'all
a
hear?
very big deal. He's like, we need the Epstein files. We have to release the Epstein files. A lot of people are circulating old clips of him.
Can y'all hear?
Very quickly, let's start with Dan Bongino, because there have been a lot of people wondering where his voice has been throughout all the Epstein stuff, in particular, because back when he was a podcaster, he had a very big podcast, he made it a very big deal. He's like, we need the Epstein files. We have to release the Epstein files. A lot of people are circulating old clips of him and Kash Patel demanding that the files be released. And suddenly we get this, oh, never mind, whiplash, nobody wants the files released, everybody move on. And people are going, wait a minute, Dan Bongino, we trusted you, we listened to you, we listened to your podcast for years. Why aren't you speaking out?
He ain't
Suddenly,
saying nothing.
gets
He is
pulled
not
in to
touching
become
it
deputy
at
director
all.
of the FBI, and people are wondering if what
Hey,
happens when you
Lynch.
join the deep state is that you become a part of its
Kamitra.
apparatus. The Epstein fumble happens, and people are waiting, crickets. Suddenly, over the weekend, he rather mysteriously tweeted this. He tweeted, during my tenure here as the deputy director of the FBI, I have repeatedly relayed to you that things are happening that might not be immediately visible, but they are happening. The director and I are committed to stamping out public corruption and the political weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations. It is a priority for us. But what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. We are going to conduct these righteous and proper investigations by the book and in accordance with the law. We are going to get the answers that we all deserve. As with any investigation, I cannot predict where it will land, but I can promise you an honest and dignified effort at truth, not my truth or your truth, but the truth. God bless America and all those who defend her. Respectfully, Dan. So what is it that Dan Bongino has learned or Dan Bongino has seen as a part of his investigations that have shocked him to his core, that it's made him come out and say, I will never be the same again? Me and my team were debating it, different directions. They think maybe it has to do with his investigations pertaining into the Russian collusion hoax. There's some indication of that. He retweeted an article pertaining to the Russian collusion hoax. Shortly thereafter, 2016 intel report regarding the Kremlin preferring the GOP over Dems, and now it says, it's not the truth. But is that really going to shock him to his core? If you find out that the deep state lied about Russian collusion, which we already know. Is that enough to make you go, I will never be the same after learning this? No, we know they lie. We know they lied about Hunter Biden's laptop, right? And a bunch of them signed on and said, it's totally Russia. It's Russia's fault. It's always Russia's fault. Yeah, we get it. If all else fails, blame Russia. I am hoping that he's just going to come out and be like, hey, the world is run by sexual deviants. They're in our government, this government, everybody's government has got them. Because that's kind of what makes the most sense for me, especially in the context of everything that we're learning about Epstein and this huge cover-up, Ghislaine Maxwell, what's going on in France, Brigitte, Macron, Emmanuel suing Candace Owens because she's getting close to finding out what exactly. Was run by sexual deviants. They're in our government, this government, everybody's government has got them. Because that's kind of what makes the most sense for me, especially in the context of everything that we're learning about Epstein and this huge cover-up. Ghislaine Maxwell.
What he is. Oh, it's a man.
France, Brigitte, Macron, Emmanuel suing Candace Owens.
Right here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and really, I mean, if we really gonna think about it, I mean, I mean, the same wig all the time. I mean, the very same wig all the time. I just don't know not a female who wears wigs that don't switch it up. Ever. Yeah. So this is he and he is she. And they are the ones who reached out to Trump. Didn't she say it was a Bastille? Yeah, I'm not sure really what's going on, but they have reached out to an Israeli. You say you know it's stank? Yeah, an assassin who has been paid for the job, she said.
Owens, because she's getting close to finding out what exactly. Perhaps that all of it's really connected. Epstein, Brigitte, Ghislaine. Suddenly the world seems to be dialed into that fact. And things are reaching a bit of a fever pitch, which brings me to a really crazy story, you guys. Obviously, we are globally viral. Everyone is watching the Becoming Brigitte series, from here to Tokyo and everywhere in between, trying to figure out what on earth has happened, what on earth has that woman said in Tennessee that has caused the sitting president of France to sue her all the way in the United States. What's going on here? Well, in France, obviously Brigitte is hitting the ground hard, or sending people out rather to hit the ground hard and basically try to spin why it is that they're doing this, right? The French press is obviously terrified to speak about this issue in any way other than signaling that it's a conspiracy. And Brigitte had someone close to her, close to the office, a man named Eric Dupond-Moretti, speak on her behalf about this case. He has declared this to be a state issue, right? This could potentially bring the French Republic to its knees, and that is what he is communicating in this interview. He's sitting down with the journalist, and it's like, why would you sue this podcast in the United States? Well, just so you know, he's about to clarify, this is a state issue. And he comes up with this utterly demented logic as to why it's a state issue. I'm not going to read his entire back and forth. You can find it on Xavier Poussard's X, but I'll read you a portion of it because it's quite funny, actually. This is his theory. He's sitting down with Sophie Nomayer, and she says to him, you make the connection with Candace Owens, who herself is known for being a far-right blogger. Eric responds, the reality is that the man named Poussard will export his rumors across the Atlantic, and it's Candace Owens who will gather them. And not only will she gather them, but with unimaginable firepower, she will spread them. Sophie asks, 7 million subscribers, Eric says, 7 million subscribers, and what we see, and it's probably a coincidence, is that first of all, she supports Marine Le Pen against the President of the Republic. She said, I don't understand why the French didn't elect Marine Le Pen. Whatever, but above all else, she is close to Marion Maréchal. Now, for those of you guys who don't know who Marion Maréchal is Marine Le Pen that's her niece. So Marine Le Pen is the person that Emmanuel Macron ran against for president. And he is correct. I think way back when it went down, when he was running, I did say that French should elect the conservative, because I'm a conservative. Anyways, he's now going, her niece, Marianne Michel, Candace knows her. And so Sophie asks him, how do we know? And Eric replies, because Marion Maréchal, in reality, is going to have Candace speak at a right-wing convention that she organized in September of 2019. Marion Maréchal, her account, forgive me, is one of 98 accounts that is followed by Owens. Maréchal invited her followers to follow Owens, and then they make the Charter pilgrimage together after Owens converted to Catholicism. Sophie's not following him. He's like, okay, I don't understand. You're saying that Candace spoke at a random convention in Paris. Marianne Michel was there. They follow each other on social media. And Candace converted to Catholicism. What does that have to do with anything? And now he's mentioning the Charter pilgrimage, which is, I did that Catholic pilgrimage. This is true in France. This is when he explains. She says, what do you mean, Eric? Eric responds, I mean that they know each other very well. I mean that they see each other, that they are close to each other. And I believe you see, madame, that there is no such thing as chance in life. As Paul Eluard said, there are only encounters. Okay, so he goes on to explain how through the Charter pilgrimage, somehow, because Marianne Michel was apparently also on this pilgrimage. Now, I did not talk to her. I did not speak to her. It was like 26,000 people marching. And apparently she does it every year. I did it once after I converted to Catholicism, and I hadn't seen her or spoken to her or heard of her since 2019 when I met her at that event. But he's connecting the dots that Russia is somehow involved in funding the end of the French Republic through the Catholic Charter pilgrimage because they want to collapse Emmanuel Macron and install Marine Le Pen, and they want to end the Republic. Yeah, it's totally demented, okay? But more demented is who this person is himself, okay? Who Eric Dumond Moretti is himself. Because you need to understand, this is not casual, okay? He is publicly representing that he's working with the U.S. attorneys that are suing me to help this investigation, and he's not.
We all
an
are
average
watching
lawyer.
this for the first
Okay,
time.
Eric Dumond Moretti, this signals that Brigitte is bringing in the big guns. He is the former Justice Minister of France. Okay, so think of that as like the Attorney General of France, handpicked by Brigitte herself. And when she handpicked him, it caused outrage all throughout France. And if you want to know why, it's because, like I said at the top of the show, Eric has a unique skill set. In other words, the cases that Eric takes on as an attorney, the cases that he tends to intervene in, have a common theme. I'm going to briefly tell you about just a couple of these cases. You can look him up independently. I'm not painting a picture here. This is crazy. The first one is known as the Manachet affair. Okay, the Manachet affair refers to a man. His name was Dennis Manachet. He meets a young woman when he's young as well, a teenager. Her name is Lawrence. They decide they're going to get married and begin a life together. They immediately start having some children, okay? Now, Dennis Manachet is a very skilled engineer. He climbs the ladder at an automobile company and he becomes a senior executive. Him and Lawrence have 5 children. And I'm going to make it very easy for you because I'm going to put together a chart so that you can follow the story.
5 children. Okay. Yeah, please double tap the face of your phone if you're listening in on your phone device. Just double tap. It's free. Or hit the 3 dots at the top and to take you to the like button. Come on, come on.
They have 3 girls. Virginie, she's the eldest. She's born in 1981. And then they have Betty.
Okay, hold on. So yeah, let's go.
Lawrence have 5 children. And I'm going to make it very easy for you because I'm going to put together a chart so that you can follow the story. They have 3 girls. Virginie, she's the eldest. She's born in 1981. And then they have Betty, and they have a daughter named Samantha. They also have 2 boys. Their names are Tony and Dimitri. You can keep this up, Skylar, as I keep talking, just so they can follow this. Okay, so Lawrence, his wife, apparently, she just loves to spend money, okay? And Dennis is happy to allow her to spend money so long as they come to an understanding together. And that understanding is she can spend, he won't ask questions, so long as she looks the other way while he rapes their daughters.
Oh, wow.
I'm not kidding, okay?
Oh,
Viewer
wow.
discretion advised, okay? Listener discretion advised. This is the agreement that they come to. And
This
so he
is
begins
for
to do this
entertainment
in
purposes
earnest
only.
to Betty when she's just 8 years old. Virginie witnesses it. They both go to their mother.
Hold on. I mean, because you know, sometimes I go a little hard on people when they justify it. It says, you know, and I'll say, you know, yeah, you know, that some, you know, it's just generational. It's a generational curse a lot of times. Not all the time, but a lot of times it is. You know, mm, 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 mm.
I'm not kidding, okay? Viewer discretion advised, okay? Listener discretion advised. This is the agreement that they come to. And so he begins to do this in earnest to Betty when she's just 8 years old. Virginie
It happens a
lot.
lot.
I'm not kidding, okay?
Yeah, it happens a lot. I mean, whether if it's to pay a bill or, mothers have I call it pimped out, traded out their kids for money and or drugs. And her drug of choice was shopping and spending money. It's just like the other victim where we talked about the elites. And, it started out the nanny's husband. And then when the mother found out, it's like she fired the nanny husband and she started pimping her own daughter to the elites. It happens a lot. A lot. And it's like when Epstein got out of jail, prison. His first people who went to see him was Fergie and her two daughters. Prince Andrew's wife and two daughters. Yeah, it's sad.
Questions, so long as she looks the other way while he rapes their daughters. I'm not kidding, okay? Lawrence, his wife, apparently, she just loves to spend money, okay? And Dennis is happy to allow her to spend money so long as they come to an understanding together. And that understanding is she can spend, he won't ask questions, so long as she looks the other way while he rapes their daughters. I'm not kidding, okay? Viewer discretion advised, okay? Listener discretion advised. This is the agreement that they come to. And so he begins to do this in earnest to Betty when she's just 8 years old. Virginie witnesses it. They both go to their mother, and their mom just ignores it because this is the agreement. Betty, okay, that is the younger sister, becomes pregnant from her father 3 times between the ages of 13 and 18 years old. And each time, they take her to a different hospital because, she's got to get an abortion, but they also want to avoid any suspicion. They want the hospital to think that she's just like, a girl that sleeps around a lot, teenager that sleeps around. They go to 3 different hospitals. Needless to say, it's not just physical abuse. The father is also psychologically abusive. He decides to treat Betty, the one who's been pregnant 3 times, as like the hoe of the family. He has a favorite. Virginie is his favorite. He refers
so she
to her
a hoe
as the Duchess. But Betty
he
is his
aping
favorite.
her.
He has a favorite. Virginie is his favorite. He refers to her as the Duchess. The lot teenager that sleeps around. They go to 3 different hospitals.
Oh, wow.
Needless to say, it's not just physical abuse. The father is also psychologically abusive. he decides to treat Betty, the one who's been pregnant 3 times, as like the hoe of the family. He has a favorite. Virginie is his favorite. He refers to her
Generational
as the
curse. You're right.
Duchess. But Betty, he can't stand her. He calls her fat. He calls her ugly. He threatens her and also her mother repeatedly. Like there was this incident where he found a cigarette butt, just to give you an idea of like who he is. He finds a cigarette butt on the ground where they live, and he's like, which one of you is smoking? So he like takes them to the woods and just holds like a rifle to their faces. Betty and the mother, that is.
Oh, wow.
Not the Duchess, Virginie. Also, if you're wondering like where are the sons in this story?
Very much so, a monster.
He actually makes them live in a shed on the property, totally separate. They're not allowed to be in the main house, and he does that for 2 reasons. One is because he wants to keep the sons in the dark regarding the repeated rapes of the daughters, but
Right.
also because he's very jealous. He doesn't want any male competition in the house
Oh,
where he's
wow.
living with his wife and his daughters.
Oh,
So he
please
just
tell
keeps
me
the sons away, annexed down at the shed. Anyways, fast forward to the year 2000. Betty, the younger sister, is 16. Virginie is now 21. And Dennis decides to make Virginie, his daughter, the main woman of the household. So
Where's the
his
wife?
wife, Lawrence, let's get that chart up again. His wife, Lawrence, is now relegated, kind of. He's like kind of treating her like she's maybe a daughter with Samantha. But Virginie, he takes her with him everywhere. Of course, they're not officially married on paper, but she's the woman of the household. He takes her to work every day at the automobile garage. She's also especially gifted when it comes to mechanics and engineering. And about a year later, Virginie, his daughter, falls pregnant with his child. And since she's the favorite, he lets her keep the child. So if you're following now, Virginie, his daughter, is about to give birth to his son. So he's the grandfather and the father of Nicholas, who you're seeing at the bottom here.
So this Brigitte lady
to a boy named
is
Nicholas in 2002.
Lord, oh, Lord. Hello.
Women over 40, you need this in your makeup bag.
Yo.
The liquid lash extensions
Hello.
mascara
Oh,
will
Lord.
seriously change
Oh,
your
Lord.
makeup game.
It's gonna get crazier. Betty, the younger sister, then
Wait a
turns
minute.
18, and
So,
she tried to run away
I'm
a few times when she
confused
was
already.
younger. On this chart, she gives birth to a boy named Nicholas in 2002. It's gonna
So
get crazier.
Nicholas is her son
Betty,
and
the
her
younger
brother.
sister, then turns 18, and she had tried to run away a few times when she was younger. You know, this is the sister that he shames. But by 18, she is able to escape, and she rings the alarm publicly. She files a complaint with the police. She says, me and my sister have been repeatedly raped by my father from the time that I was 8 years old. We have been suffering at his hands. And the driving factor for what drives her into the police's arms is that she was fearful that her sister, the youngest one, Samantha, who at that time is just 4 years old, is going to suffer the same fate. So she finds the courage to report this. She tells the police that her mother, by the way, Lawrence, is complicit, and that sometimes her mother would plan these things and partake in them. I mean, it's really terrible, disgusting stuff.
Oh,
okay?
my God.
Suffice it to say that Dennis and Lawrence are of course, arrested.
I see where this is going.
And they are imprisoned until 2004, when their lawyers are able to secure their release until after the trial and the sentencing. And guess who gets brought into this legal team? Okay? Eric Dupont Moretti. Guy who thinks I'm like colluding with Russia and taking instructions while I'm on a pilgrimage. Now, Dennis is his client. The father is his client. Dennis is a bit of a psycho, you might imagine. Despite being released,
but they are
and
part of the
instructions he
same
has to stay away from
cult
his daughter,
in human
he
trafficking
violates that
stuff
because he just wants to be around Virginie. He's a little obsessed with Virginie, and he immediately begins asserting control over the family
Trump.
again. Now, if you're Eric, this isn't good for the lawyers.
I mean, you know, this is, I mean, now again, these are the family of people who are suing. I guess we're gonna find out how they're connected to the people who have put a hit out on her. But these people, let's just listen. But they say Trump is too fresh with his daughter, right? It just kind of sounds really, really eerie. It sounds like we've heard this before. And it also kind of has the feel of Ghislaine Maxwell and her dad. Let's keep listening. It's definitely a generational curse.
Unless you come up with something, a way to refashion what has happened.
Because remember, Ghislaine Maxwell, her dad would take her to functions instead of her mom. And he wasn't particularly close or with her siblings. She stood out. And yeah. And he died mysteriously. They all do, don't they? Yes, it is.
Thing in this family, right? And Eric Dupont Moretti is up for the task. Him and another lawyer that he's working with, Hubert Delarue, begin to spin everything that's happening as a tale of, wait for it, happy incest. He is known, by the way, this guy Eric, as an ogre in France, the ogre of France. Because of this, he spins it as happy incest. He explains to the daughter that they need to get behind this idea, right? We're going to sell to the courts that you guys are to the daughter that they need to get behind this idea, right? We're going to sell to the courts that you guys are a happily incestuous family. This is all consensual. So eventually the parents are sentenced to 8 years in prison for their crimes, but Eric Dupont fights for their sentences to be reduced in the appellate courts. He does this by getting Betty, the sister, to backtrack on her allegations. She suddenly is telling the appellate court that she was simply jealous of her sister, Virginie. She retracts her earlier claim of the father having raped her and instead says that her father and her sister, Virginie, were incestuous consensually.
This is your ultimate guide to Lake Oconee, Georgia. If you're considering visiting Lake Oconee or buying a home here, I'm going to give you the local...
Wow.
Now, I should also mention that this is all taking place in Amiens. Sorry, guys. Amiens, where Macron was born and raised, and where Brigitte Macron was born and raised. They are the appellate court that is holding this trial that Eric Dumond is trying to convince about happy incest anyways. And he's looking at this court, and he explains to the court that this is actually a case of extraordinary love.
Yeah, please hit the like button.
I'm wondering if this is going to be part of the tactics that are used when Brigitte and Emmanuel come here.
Brainwashing them kids, absolutely.
Love. This is what they told me. We did learn, actually. They were an extraordinary case. This was a teacher and the student, and this was so compelling and extraordinary. Anyways, let me not get lost here. It works. The sentence is then reduced, consequentially, during the appeal trial in Amiens to just 5 years in prison, 3 of which he had already, which were suspended, Dennis Menachet had this suspended. His wife gets 1 more year than he does, which is kind of crazy, but that's because Eric Dupont Moretti also worked on this idea that really the wife is the one we should really be mad at because she wanted this relationship to take place. Now, if you're wondering why it is that Betty changed her story, it's because Virginie, her sister, begged her to, and her sister begged her to because it was the only way that she was going to get custody of her son back. Throughout all of this, they took Nicholas, the son. And Eric and the lawyers are saying, well, I want to see your son again. Virginie is going to Betty, and Betty is like, please. And she's like, please, Betty, just change your testimony. I just want my son. I love my son. And so Betty agrees to do it. She acquiesces. This is going to be according to her own testimony later. Years later, Betty writes a book called It Wasn't Love, where she recounts specifically how Eric Dupont was a special kind of demon. I'm paraphrasing here, but he's the one that helped to craft this narrative of consensual incest. It was him. And she is outraged by the fact that he is now going to become the Justice Minister of France. Now, if you're wondering about what happens thereafter to Virginie, it turns out that Eric maybe had it wrong. The incest was actually not that happy. The story ends quite tragically. After being allowed to return to Virginie, thanks to the Amiens appellate
Oh,
court.
wow.
Dennis is being judicially monitored, and Virginie reports that she is fearful and terrified of her father, fearful that he has it within him to kill her. Fast forward to September of 2014, and Virginie works up the courage to leave her father with her son Nicholas. She escapes, and Nicholas is her motivation. He's older now. She does this through a private organization that helps people that are impoverished plan their escapes. Thereafter, her employer, somebody that she works at the garage with, decides to help out. His name is Frederick Piard, and he houses her and her son. Dennis, throughout this, is hunting Virginie, right? Because he loves her. He loves his daughter. If that's what we're calling love. And on October 7th, 2014,
wife, she took on the wife role.
Her to Frederick's garage, he first shoots Frederick dead. Then he shoots his daughter, Virginie, dead. And then he turns the gun. Now, she does this through a private organization that helps people that are impoverished plan their escapes. Thereafter, her employer, somebody that she works at the garage with, decides to help out. His name is Frederick Piard, and he houses her and her son. Dennis, throughout this, is hunting Virginie, right? Because he loves her. He loves his daughter. If that's what we're calling love. And on October 7th, 2014, after following her to Frederick's garage, he first shoots Frederick dead. Then he shoots his daughter, Virginie, dead. And then he turns the gun on himself. Frederick Piard obviously dies. Dennis Monachet miraculously survives. It's a botched suicide attempt, but then he is disabled. Years later, he appears at the new trial, now this time for a double murder. He's in a wheelchair. He's speaking through a type pad. I mean, how's that for happy incest?
Happy incest. Where do they do this at?
And we're here to give you that styled feeling.
Don't compromise quality insurance for savings.
Oh my God.
Or your time for this ad. Hit that skip button. Or don't.
Oh my God.
But you do have to imagine Betty's surprise when she learns years later that that lawyer, who she felt had really masterminded this whole happy incest thing in Amiens, was selected by a couple from Amiens, no less, to become the Minister of Justice for the entire country of France. And not only that, but while he's the Minister of Justice of France, similarly, Emmanuel Macron, remember when Emmanuel Macron gave that Legion of Honor award
to President
Patrick Buey, the person who worked
that's
on
suing her.
Case?
That sued her.
He also gives a Legion of Honor award to, and we have a picture here, Hubert Delarue. There's the Minister of France buckling it onto him, putting it onto him, the lawyer who worked alongside Moretti to come up with the happy incest. He gets one too. Everybody gets a Legion of Honor.
Incest.
Everybody gets a Legion of Honor that's doing good stuff for, I guess, the aims of the Macrons. Now, again, like if you are a person, you might be thinking, oh, this could just be one case. That's what defense attorneys are supposed to do. No. You're like way off, okay? It's never that when it comes to Emmanuel and Brigitte. It's always a pattern that's emerging. And certainly for Eric, he has a very unique skill set. He's interested in a very unique set of circumstances. Incest, pedophilia. And I'm going to tell you another crazy story.
Oh, Lord.
We get back just from me mentioning our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Dose.
Yeah, please hit the like button. Double tap the face of the
7 Weeks Coffee. They're America's pro-life
double
coffee company. They're on a
tap the
mission to
face
fund
of your
the pro-life
screen,
movement, one
please.
cup of
Double
coffee at a
tap.
time. They hit an amazing milestone. Over $1 million donated to.
Yeah, I'm trying not to stop and pause because there's another video we need to watch. I'm trying to get up to speed of what's going on and why these people have put. It's not a threat. They said that the assassin has been paid to take her out. Her and Tucker. So please double tap the face of your screen. There's 255 people in here. And I'm not asking for anything other than a like. I appreciate every donation, every gem, every super chat. I'm just trying to understand what's going on outside of Charlie Kirk, outside of the military, and but it's all connected because Trump called her in an attempt to stop her from talking about this couple. So please, double tap. It's free, it's simple, or you can hit the 3 dots at the top of your computer and it'll take you to the like button. If not, we will not be able to watch the other video. I was up to 3 o'clock yesterday in the morning.
The pro-life movement. Now you know why they're called 7 weeks coffee. It's because 7 weeks, a baby is the size of a coffee bean, and it's the same time at a. So go ahead and head to 7weekscoffee.com, and you'll save 15%
Thank you,
forever
Denise.
when you subscribe, and you'll also get a free gift. Plus, exclusively for my listeners, if you use code Candace at checkout, you'll get an extra 10% off, which means a 25% total savings. Promo code Candace at checkout. Okay. By the way, what's really funny about this, starting this episode, is that someone in the chat, definitely one of like Brigitte's minions, Brigitte's dragons, it's like, you're going to talk about the Outreau case. I hadn't even gotten to that case, actually, because there's just so many to choose from. But now we're going to talk about the Outreau case. They're like, no, you can't. It doesn't matter what lawyers defend. Oh, but it's also interesting, isn't it? It's all so interesting. And I got to tell you, one of the things that really stands out to me about the Monochet affair, and you can go look into this yourself, Dennis Monochet affair, is the familiar locations. Amiens, the birthplace of the Macrons, Brigitte and Emmanuel. Then there's Pas-de-Calais, which he moves out to, which is like an hour away. Now, if Pas-de-Calais is sounding familiar to you, it's been, it's because that's where Emmanuel Macron, when we get into his biography, he almost ran for political office there. That's where he begins his career. But also where Brigitte begins her career as a press secretary of the Chamber of Commerce, before then radically deciding to become a teacher. Then she teaches Emmanuel. It's all very convoluted. They're just in the same place all the time. Well, there was another case that took place in Pas-de-Calais, and I think this one, we're just going to go ahead here and pull up the Wikipedia and not get too much into the weeds here. But yes, the Outreau case refers to a criminal case of pedophilia, which took place between 1997 and 2000 in Outreau. And again, that's Pas-de-Calais. And it tells us here it was a long investigation which revealed an extensive pedophile network. Around 40 adults have been accused and around 50 children were potentially victims. Now, this wasn't just your average pedophilia because it was also incest. And it tells us that the trial took place in 2004, a criminal trial court in Pas-de-Calais, where 12 children were recognized to be victims of rape, sexual assault, corruption, minors, and pimping. 10 of the 17 accused adults are then sentenced to prison. But then there was this appeal trial that took place. And 6 of the 10 accused adults were acquitted, right? 4 of them not even having appealed, it says. 4 having not even appealed, and yet they were acquitted. Who could have done that?
Wait, what? I can't take my eyes off for a second, can I? Hold on. What are we? Wait, what?
Because it was also incest. And it tells us that the trial took place in 2004. A criminal. Go ahead here and pull up the Wikipedia and not get too much into the weeds here. But yes, the Outreau case refers to a criminal case of pedophilia, which took place between 1997 and 2000 in Outreau. And again, that's Pas-de-Calais.
These poor kids don't have a chance.
And it tells us here it was a long investigation which revealed an extensive pedophile network. Around 40 adults have been accused and around 50 children were potentially victims. Now, this wasn't just your average pedophilia because it was also incest. And it tells us that the trial took place in 2004, a criminal trial court in Pas-de-Calais, where 12 children were recognized to be victims of rape, sexual assault, corruption, minors, and pimping. 10 of the 17 accused adults are then sentenced to prison. But then there was this appeal trial that took place. And 6 of the 10 accused adults were acquitted, right? 4 of them not even having appealed, it says. 4 having not even appealed, and yet they were acquitted. Who could have done that? Guys, it's Eric again, this guy. Oh my, Eric. Eric again. Not only did he get some of these adults acquitted, he also then did the most press. They tried to like make these documentaries to make it seem like, oh, they were all, yeah, some of the parents were guilty of doing these things to their children. But, the other ones really were just swept up in all of it. If you scroll down, by the way, Skylar, to this Wikipedia section, go to the child victim's viewpoint, because I want to read that. When you get down there, it's like, I know it's pretty long, there's a lot happening. Here we go, the child victim's viewpoint here. It says, with the 2023 release of a television series about the case on France 2, one of the victims, a child of the main family of the case, named Jonathan DeLay, called for a boycott. He alleged that the series constituted media manipulation by presenting adults as being the first victims of this affair. The series does not show that certain children, including Jonathan DeLay, remain convinced that some of the acquitted were in fact guilty. It goes on to read that during the hearing, the behavior of Eric Dupond-Moretti, lawyer for the Outreau acquitted, and later the French justice minister, is also called into question. According to a rumor that reappeared during the France 2 series, he terrorized a 7-year-old girl who, out of fear, urinated on herself. Now I'm going to let you know that his name is familiar because it's also in Becoming Brigitte, the book written by Xavier Poussard. And he tells the case about what Eric Dupond-Moretti did as we talk about this orbit that just is around the Macrons. And actually, Eric Dupond-Moretti was denounced virulently by psychiatrists for his methods. So what happened was they got all these adults, they were guilty.
7U01 NI4. What's your point? What does that have to do with what's going on right now? 7U01 NI4. I mean, what was your point? Because I'm sure you're a hypocrite. Because I'm sure you have betrayed someone before as well. I mean, so what's your point? So all black people are supposed to be mad at Candace. Because at some point, she betrayed the NAACP. I mean, what's your point? Come on, because your comment, yeah, I'm calling you out on it. I'm asking you, what's your point? So speak up or get out. Now I'm going to ask you again, what's your point? Hypocrite. Yeah, you want to spread some propaganda to have black people turn on Candace because she done turned on the NAACP. So black people look at her and say, no, she got me going. I don't care what good she's doing for these kids right here, or the movement, or for anybody, or she has come to a realization that she has made some mistakes and she was wrong. Still cast her to the stones. I mean, what? Again, I'm going to ask you for the last time, 7U01 NI4, what is your point? What's your point? Because I know you done some whole stupid shit before, because you trifling now. Yeah. You trifling. Because one don't have anything to do with the other. You're a hater. Let me be the first one over here to tell you that you are a hater. and you have a heart condition, and you need to get your heart checked, you need to find Jesus. You need to ask him to forgive you of your sins. All of them. Past, present, and future. And let God do what he do with Candace and you and me and everybody else. Anybody who can take ownership of some of the mistakes that they have made, bad judgment, is all right with me. Yeah, so get out. You ain't welcome over here because you're a hypocrite. 7U01 NI4. Yeah, get your ass up out of here. That foolishness. You're a hypocrite. We're talking about kids that have been violated. And you bring your ass over here to stir up something. So that means that this is a touchy subject for you too. You're very familiar with it. And you want to deflect and you don't want us to talk about it. Because what? Hi, Sharon. Y'all, please double tap the face of the screen. Get the likes up. Let's go.
Moretti was denounced virulently.
Thank you, Stacy.
By psychiatrists for his methods. So what happened was they got all these adults. They were guilty. And then he went in to question the children, right? And yeah, an expert psychiatrist named Gerard Lopez, during a hearing at the National Assembly said this. He said, quote, "You know that Mr. Dupont-Moretti questioned a 7-year-old child in Saint-Omer for 6 hours. He questioned a 7-year-old child for 6 hours. And he found that child's testimony to be inconsistent. This is what changed the Outreau trial. Remember that this was a case in which all of the children were recognized to be victims. All of them, 12 out of 12. So you see, a guy like Dupont-Moretti should not be tolerated. I'm an expert and he does not scare me. I've been an expert on the assize of courts for 30 years. But imagine a kid, imagine little Delay, who's been through horrors, with this bear, Eric Moretti, yelling at him. And the president saying nothing at all. End quote.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, you can go through all of the cases
that
he decides to intervene on, and the arguments that he makes and how he makes them and how he gets to that and how he gets these sentences reduced and gets people off. Now, in case you're like, Candace, this is kind of weird. Like, they're pedophilia, incest. Well, but at least we can say about Eric Moretti is none of these cases involve transgenderism. I'm kidding. Of course there's cases that involve transgenderism. Right now there's one going on. You can look this up. It's involving this Korean kid, Joachim Son-Forget. Joachim Son-Forget. Well, that's his old name. Now his name is, her name is Ava Forget. Long story short, I'm not going to get in details here. This is a Korean boy who's adopted by a Frenchman named Bernard Forget. And his adopted father right now is being accused of raping and sexually assaulting minors. Now, why is that relevant? Because Joachim, when he was Joachim, was working with Macron. He's got pictures with Alexander Benalla. He was considered, like, I guess in the context of America, we would call it like 30 under 30. This genius Korean kid who was very much involved in the campaign, had a huge political future. Well, now he's Ava, and these are allegations. We're not going to get too deep in it, but he's calling out Eric Moretti. He's calling out a network of people that he says know some stuff, know about stuff that's happening in France.
Gifts for the outdoors and the outdoorsy. Eddie Bauer.
Hi, this is Roy with the Resource Center. And one question I get a lot of times from claimants is, can Social Security watch my behavior, or can they do an investigation into the way that I live? And the answer to that question is yes. if Social Security has reason to believe that you're not shooting them straight, or that you're more capable than what you're reflecting in the records, your allegations can be explored.
So what are we to make of all of this? What are we to make of the fact that it just seems too impossible of a task for the Macrons to find someone to represent them, to be around them, to fund them into office that does not have a story or defending a story, a person that involves these themes? I feel like they're laughing at us. I feel like this is like kinky for them. Like this is like an exhibitionist sport. Like they want to get caught. They just want to see how far they can push the envelope. Why would you then make this guy the justice minister? Is there nobody else available in France? And yeah, people rioted because of his track record here, but now you're involving him again in this case in America, and you have the audacity, to put in your filing against me. How dare she imply that our network, the syndicate, what is the exact verbiage, Skylar? Oh, Owens supported these claims of violence and criminality with statements that the Macrons are surrounded by criminals, pedophiles, an extraordinary syndicate. Yeah, I would say the people that surround you are extraordinary. Brigitte, you can't even pick out a carpet. The person who designed the carpets getting swept up into a pedophile scandal. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, merci beaucoup. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I just didn't know. I had no idea. It's just everyone around us. It's not us. I don't know. Everyone around us is involved with these themes. And what's going on? Oh, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, he was 14. Now we're saying 15. We're in the law for lawsuit's sake. When you guys were first running, you said 17. Then it went down to 16. Now we're at 15. I think with this lawsuit, we're going to get you to 14 because that's the truth. Yeah, sure, Candace. Yeah, whatever. He was on stage. He was so beautiful. This boy, he was so intelligent. Yes, I fell for this boy who happened to be 14, and it's weird. Whatever. But no, me? No. There's nothing weird about me. Nothing weird about my wig. That's what they're doing right now. And it just feels like a form of exhibition. It feels disturbing, and it's gotta be. Like, it must like the attention. I was asking myself this question. I was going, okay, you get away with it, right? You're a teacher. You mac on your student. You're so disgusting that his parents move him away. You admit that in a lawsuit. Why would you admit that in a lawsuit, right? You get away with it. You marry this kid who becomes an adult, and you marry him at this weird ceremony, which we haven't even covered that. We'll have to get that in our series 2, in our second season of this. Why then aspire to become the first lady? Like, what's that? That's what I mean when I say it's like there's something about this that has to be kinky for them. Because if you got away with it, wouldn't you just like disappear and be like, yay, I got my student? No, they're like, nope, gotta be the first lady. And I need to be worshipped, and now I need to sue, and I need to be so funny when I sue that I have Eric Moretti doing the rounds, being like, this is ridiculous, even though he like literally involved himself in cases where it wasn't even a question. It's like, yeah, no, this actually was pedophilia. This absolutely was happening, and it's in the same region that Macron and Brigitte grew up and started their careers, but nothing to see here. Candace is deranged, unhinged. No, there's nothing to see here. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's, I don't know. I just think we're pulling out a thread, and a lot's about to be revealed. And maybe Macron wants it to be. Like, maybe Emmanuel Macron wants it to be. Maybe, like, there's something masochistic about it for him, and he wants it to be revealed. He wants people to know. Like, he's like, I don't know. We're going to see, though, obviously, because I am positively thrilled about this lawsuit. And I do want to say this to Claire Locke, Tom Claire doing the rounds on CNN. Is the money worth it? I gotta ask that question. I think it's fair to ask that question. Like, I don't personally, like, I'm looking at everybody sideways in France that's involved with this couple. I'm not looking at Tom Claire sideways. I know what this is. You're American. This is about the cash for you, right? You're making a lot of money doing this. But at a certain level, is it worth it? You know? Like, if I'm a lawyer, there has to be cases that I say I'm not going to get involved in. And when you look into the story, and I know you have watched every minute of this series, and I know that you are aware of how many people just keep falling into pedophilia scandals that are surrounded by the Macrons, and I know that you are aware of how old Macron was despite what she's telling you. Is it worth it, Claire and Locke, to have this be your legacy for a little bit of money? Because it's going to be your legacy. We're going big here, right? I'm not backing down from this. You know I'm not going to back down from this. How do you look at your kids at night? What are you protecting? What are you fighting? I just wish people didn't have this attachment to money, and I guess it's because I don't. Like, I would rather literally die than defend a network like this. I would rather die than take phone calls, as Eric suggested. He said he's working with the legal team in the U.S. He's aiding their investigation. I would rather die than take a phone call from Eric, personally. Like, we are not working together on anything, you little weirdo. Like I said, go through his Wikipedia. Go look at all the cases he involved himself in. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And why is Brigitte selecting him to get involved in this case? You ask yourself that question. We don't know the answers. All we can do is questions. All they can do is try to shut us up. Anyways, it seems like he is very much trying to move the goalposts now. He's out there, and people are tagging, well, Macron says that France is going to recognize the Palestinian state. Oh, look at me. Yeah, right, guys, come on. Now that you're seeing all these people do this 180 that are saying we're going to recognize Palestine as a state, first and foremost, Macron was pulled up through the ranks by the Rothschilds family. The Rothschilds family created the state of Israel. Macron has absolutely no power to do anything that the Rothschilds do not want done, okay? He is not recognizing Palestine as a state. He is signaling that, well, you know what, Netanyahu's almost done. That's what's happening. So people are pretending that they staked a moral position in this at the very end of this thing, pretending like they're committed to peace and that they're going to do the right thing to change the conversation. No, okay, if you have not figured this out yet, Macron is not in control of anything. I mean, when Trump was asked about Macron even saying that he's going to recognize the Palestinian state, Trump accurately said he has no power. He has no power. He's never had power in his entire life, okay? He just hasn't. And so do not take that as a sign that he's doing the right thing, or that anybody who's talking about, oh, we need to have peace in Palestine and this needs to come to an end, it means that Netanyahu is almost done with his ethnic cleansing, and they're just trying to save face. And no one wants to save face more than Emmanuel Macron, who has embarked on a fight over here in the U.S. that is not going to end well for him or his husband.
Did I hear them same people? Hold
anyway,
on.
I want to get into some of your comments here. Oh, we are almost.
Did I hear the same people? I thought I heard Trump. I thought I heard Bibi Netanyahu. Let me back this thing up. I heard some familiar
180 that are saying we're going to recognize Palestine as a state. First and foremost,
Palestine. Okay.
Macron was pulled up through the ranks by the Rothschilds family. The Rothschilds family created the state of Israel. Macron has absolutely no power to do anything that the Rothschilds do not want done, okay? He is not recognizing Palestine as a state. He is signaling that, well, you know what, Netanyahu's almost done. That's what's happening. So people are pretending like they staked a moral position in this at the very end of this thing, pretending like they're committed to peace and that they're going to do the right thing to change the conversation. No, okay, if you have not figured this out yet, Macron is not in control of anything. I mean, when Trump was asked about Macron even saying that he's going to recognize the Palestinian state, Trump accurately said he has no power. He has no power. He's never had power in his entire life, okay? He just hasn't. And so do not take that as a sign that he's doing the right thing, or that anybody who's talking about, oh, we need to have peace in Palestine and this needs to come to an end, it means that Netanyahu is almost done with his ethnic cleansing, and they're just trying to save face. And no one wants to save face more than Emmanuel Macron, who has embarked on a fight over here in the U.S. that is not going to end well for him or his husband. That's the reality of things. Anyways, want to get to some of your comments here. Oh, we are almost at 80,000 people watching live. What do you think? Is it just keep happening by accident and it's been dropped one too many times? On top of that, fortunately, thanks to Pure Talk, your cell phone here. That's why people are calling American financing. All right, guys. Here's the thing. People in the comments they do call him Eric the Ogre. I'm not kidding. He looks like an ogre. Probably gonna sue me for saying that.
Oh wow.
That's defamation. So I'm not an ogre. I just do ogre-like things. Here is the thing, Eric. I know you're watching. You're gonna investigate me, but I investigated you first. I might. You won't find any of that in my past. As you drum up this ridiculous theory, what? I got to like mile 37 of the pilgrimage, and then like Putin popped out. He's like, "You ready for your instructions, Candace?" It's the Orthodox Catholic pilgrimage. The Orthodox are giving us instructions. What are you doing? What are you doing? Circling the wagons. You guys are so crazy. You're completely deranged. I'm interested in this. I'm interested. I want to know what the heck is going on in Paris. What has been going on probably since the French Revolution, if we're being honest. It's so gross. And I think all of you are sick.
Sick.
Really, that's my opinion.
Sick.
I know you don't understand this beast that is America, where we can just say that. When I can say, you sicken me. Or I can say, you're all a bunch of perverts. You too,
Yes.
Eric, I believe you are a pervert. Pervert Eric. Ooh, what are you going to do? Oh my God, no. What are you going to do next? Sue me some more, sue me harder. Put together 200
She is
pages
funny, Lord, and I
of-
hate that they are messing
really,
with her.
the whole
Lord,
thing is
please
just
be a shield
out
of
context
protection all
statements that I've
around
said.
her.
It's not even, they don't even put a full statement. Like nowhere is there a full sentence. It's just like a couple of words, and then they kind of make up their own sentence. I'm looking forward to this. I wanna talk to you about your interest in these specific cases that you take on, that all happen to be in very familiar towns and departments of France. Anyways, let's
Oh,
get into some
wow.
of your guys' comments. First and foremost, we have Lovey Dovey writes, I was in, and thank you, Lovey Dovey, that is a huge amount of money that you just gave us. That's very kind of you. I was in different areas of France a month ago. 90% of local people I ask think that Brigitte was born a man. They call her Jean Brie. Yeah, I know. They hate me because I made the case bigger. But let's not forget they're not suing Xavier Poussard. My series is based on Xavier Poussard's reporting. And the reason is because this filing was just meant to be PR. They were trying to stop the thing by putting together a ridiculous filing, accusing me of all sorts of things I didn't do, all because I just told the truth about their past. Like, I just told you the truth about Eric. What's he gonna do? Like, you can look this up on Wikipedia. I'm sorry that that's the cases that he's interested in. I don't know. He's carved out a very particular niche. Rose Kisiel, by the way, also thank you. That is a huge donation. God bless you, and may the truth continue to come to light. Christ is king. Indeed, Christ is king.
Christ
and
is
if you are a
king.
liar, you must hate his kingship because it represents truth. Will Wallace writes, I'm also a sponsor. I'm going to sponsor you right into winning this case. We have to let the world know not to mess with Americans, especially our women and children. Thank you, guys. And we have seen this,
God bless us.
just definitely an uptick in donations. People that are like, take our money, want to help you fight this case. You know, I always want to be, if I ever come to you and I say I'm putting up a GoFundMe and I need the money, I want to make sure I really need the money, you know. And right now, we're obviously looking and shopping with lawyers. We do not really need the money at this moment. It's very early on, but I know that the process is supposed to be the pain, that they want to drag this out. I can't see them wanting to make it to discovery. I just don't see that happening. I think they'll fake kill Brigitte first. Like, they'll be like, oh, Brigitte passed away
Did you
from
say
stress
fake kill?
because of what Candace did. Oh, nobody can talk about her being a man anymore because Brigitte's gone. You know, this is terrible. That's what I'm more likely that would be the conclusion. I feel like that's way more likely than them going through discovery. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that's my instinct. Anyways, yeah. I mean, obviously, supporting us, signing up on the website, all of those things. It's how you can support us. And also, I want to feel like I'm giving you something back. So that's why I say go to CandaceOwens.com so we can join the book club if you want to join the book club. It is amazing. We're beginning the Assault on Truth next week. But for those of you guys that give, I'm just incredibly blessed and grateful to all of you guys for recognizing the fight. Tim Morgan writes, to help with legal fees, love you, Candace, $20. Thank you, Tim. Supreme Steve writes, I hope you legally kick Brigitte right in his phantom balls. I actually don't.
Okay, let me get to the other one because I think that one may be.
Because of that
Lord.
notorious bathing suit picture. Basil Beshkov writes, let them eat fromage. Contraband, Zyra writes, they're trying to flex, but no poker face, keep going. Will writes, a lot of trolls in here, can't be that many people asleep on Candace, must be Macron bots. Yeah, in live chat, they were like, how dare you discuss what Eric Moretti is bravely defending. Don't even think about it. It would be so wrong of you to discuss it. Hey, you investigate me, I'm going to investigate you right back. I like investigations. What did he expect? Come on. What's doing?
Let's go to the next one.
Luke Casley writes, I noticed my husband, who often shakes his head at my conspiracy theories, is engrossed in my copy of Becoming Brigitte. You are truly changing minds one truth at a time. Guys,
let's go to the next one. I'm getting sleepy. It's 11:38. Wow. So much incest. It's just, ugh. It's gross. It's gross. And to know that it has spilled over. It's a whole cult. political elite cover-up. Resolved to give evidence to prove. It's another day. Let's go to this one. She made this one a breaking.
Job not to investigate these claims any further.
Yeah, let's.
250 years ago, a promise was made. How we deliver has changed, but our purpose hasn't. It's the peace of mind knowing your love arrives reliably and affordably.
Please hit the like button.
United States Postal
Double tap the
Service.
face of your screen.
Delivering since 1775.
Oh, Lord.
Crazy story about another person who was investigating the Macrons and has mysteriously ended up dead. And lastly, Prince ruling. I'll tell you all about that. It's just been a bad day. Happy Thursday, everybody. We won. We won. That is what I should tell you right at the top here. Piers Morgan, you owe me something like 150,000 US dollars. I'd like to shout out especially all my haters here right at the top who didn't believe me when I was all like, Brigitte Macron's a man. And instead they decided to go with the mainstream media, the narrative that was just, Candace is unhinged, Brigitte Macron won for defamation. Well, that's no longer a thing. Because guess what? The journalist that she went after, 2 of them, they beat Brigitte in court. They have been acquitted in the higher court ruling. I'll tell you all about that. It's just been a bad day. Bad week, bad month, bad year for the Macrons, actually. So it's amazing. Plus, I got to tell you a crazy story about another person who was investigating the Macrons and has mysteriously ended up dead. And lastly, Prince Andrew, who has been in hiding since the fallout of the...
Someone else that was investigating them has mysteriously... Are y'all listening with y'all good ear? Someone else who was investigating them mysteriously was unalive or came up dead.
And lastly, Prince Andrew, who has been in hiding, truly, so it's amazing. Plus, I got to tell you a crazy story about another person who was investigating the Macrons and has mysteriously ended up dead. And lastly, Prince Andrew, who has been in hiding since the fallout of the Epstein trial, is now resurfacing because the Epstein files have been mysteriously closed. And his people are saying that he's now ready to venture back into the public life. So,
we know that's all.
Welcome back to Candace.
We know this is all. Can y'all hear me?
Well, I will say this, guys. We definitely...
Give me a 1 or a thumbs up if you can hear me, please. Just to double check. I'm trying to stay on top of it. Gotcha.
Needed this win. Especially after an entire week being gaslit about Jeffrey Epstein. We needed at least one pervert to not get away with it. And it's happening. It is happening right now in France. I'm very excited about it. And I'm going to tell you what is going on. First, we should put this on rewind, though. Because I have to say, it was a lot. 2024 was a lot for me. Personally, I was just being completely pummeled by the mainstream media. I was the first person in, I guess, Western media, American media, to say, hey, or at least the English-speaking world, to say, hey, Macron, I think, is definitely married to a dude. And then the entire...
This thing right here.
Mainstream media rose up, as they often do, not to do...
This is who sued her. This who is the Trump reached out to Charlie Kirk to get Candace to stop talking about this lady man and her husband, and then Trump called Candace himself. So something she said that was connected to some steel. Yeah, she has a couple of babies, and with all of that human trafficking and undocumented kids that go into foreign countries, I mean, yeah, I guess anybody could have a family, right? Right? But this is the couple that put a hit out on Candace, and she said that the assassin was handpicked or selected from, he's in Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, and the green light has been given. And this is who
their job, not to
is the
investigate
man.
These claims any further, but to do their real job, which is to defend the government, defend the state. Macron, I think, is definitely married to a dude. And then the entire mainstream media rose up, as they often do, not to do their job, not to investigate these claims any further, but to do their real job, which is to defend the government, defend the state, and to just say that any person who's saying this is unhinged and crazy. And there's just no way that that's true. There's no way that this 40-year-old quote-unquote woman, who happens to look a lot like a dude in a dress, is given Mrs. Doubtfire over here, who also happens to have fallen in love with a 14-year-old.
No, I see more
Oh,
ET.
there's no way she could be lying about anything, or might just be perverted altogether. Anyways, fresh off of being fired for the Daily Wire, it was Piers Morgan who interviewed me first, and he had me on his show. And look, I like Piers, but I'm going to say he was trying to step on my head while I was already drowning. He just came to deliver that final blow, asking me all sorts of questions, implying that I was anti-Semitic because I was like saying what was happening in Gaza was wrong. I'll let you know he has since come over to my side, and he's about to come over on my side when it comes to Brigitte as well, because then he brings it up at the end. There was like an hour of us just clashing. I was exhausted. And at the end, he then tries to paint me as a crazy person and asks me about Brigitte. And don't worry, you guys. As tired as I was, I stood 10 toes down on this one. So let's put that on rewind. Take a listen. This is from June 11th of last year.
But it's this question about the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who you keep saying is a man. You produced zero evidence that she is a man. It's been deeply offensive to her husband, President Macron, to all of her family. You keep promoting it to millions of people that follow you. And I simply ask why. She's not a man,
Yeah,
she's
sure.
a woman.
I'm happy to answer the question. I think Brigitte Macron is a trans woman. And I think the fact that when Brigitte Macron... Okay.
But where's your evidence that she is?
Well, Piers, the thing is I'm not allowed to speak after you ask me a question, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is anymore. You just seem to kind of be saying your own thoughts. So I'm just going to be silent here and allow you to monologue.
Where is your evidence that Brigitte Macron is transgender?
Well, I did an entire series talking about where this came from, and first and foremost, you're pretending that I'm the one that promulgated this. In fact, it was 3 journalists in France that worked on the story for 3 years,
right.
And they teamed up with genealogists, and they came across, and it was absolutely fascinating. I read the entire report, and everybody watching this, rather than listen to Piers Morgan giving you a bunch of adjectives, ridiculous, it's awful, I can't believe that she's saying this. Why don't you go pursue a primary source? Why don't you go find the articles that were written by the French journalists? Because this did not come from me. This came from French journalists. And while they were working, let me finish the statement, Piers.
Okay.
While they were working on this piece, the Macrons sent their secret service to interrupt this. This is not a normal thing that you do when somebody's about to publish a lie. You would just say it's ridiculous, publish it, and we'll dispute it. They sent the Secret Service to intimidate these journalists. They took their phones, they held them, they wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece, and what they uncovered was absolutely fascinating. What they uncovered was the fact that Brigitte Macron, who alleges that the person that they are saying is her is actually her brother, who's never been seen and who they never produced, that Brigitte Macron lived as a man for 30 years and then
so who they're saying that she is, now she's saying it's her brother.
Journalists, they took their phones, they held them, they wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece, and what they uncovered was absolutely fascinating. What they uncovered was the fact that Brigitte Macron, who alleges that the person that they are saying is her is actually her brother, who's never been seen and who they never produced. That Brigitte Macron lived as a man for 30 years and then transitioned at the age of 30. So he's trying to tell you this is crazy, this is wacky. Why don't you just go pursue a primary source?
Well, I don't
I'm
need
not the
to.
primary source. It would be very easy to dispute this. All Brigitte Macron would have to do is produce a single photo of her in the first 30 years of her life, or to go on a little walk with
Actually,
her brother, who she alleges that she is not.
Actually,
she refuses to do either.
actually,
She's suing people, and the one photo that they keep producing is a photo of her daughter to phone that has been photoshopped.
Please. Brigitte Macron, as you know, has a libel trial against Natasha Ray, who made the claims that the French First Lady was born a man called Jean-Michel Trogneux. It's due to take place imminently, and we will get to the bottom of this. And I'll bet you, why don't we have like £100,000 bet that it establishes beyond any doubt, to a charity of your choice and mine, $100,000.
I wonder did he pay it?
Make it dollars right now, that it is established beyond any doubt that she was born a woman. Do you accept that bet?
Make it rain, Piers. Make it rain, okay? Because, look, first and foremost, 100,000 pounds. Can we look up what that means in U.S. dollars? Let's see what that, over $136,000. I'll round it up. Let's round it up to $1 there. 136,000 U.S. dollars are mine. Piers, I'm not gonna let you get away with this. I want my money. It's gonna be like that Family Guy scene where Stewie's like beating up Brian. I want my money. Where's my money? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it started, and this is how it's going. Check out this headline. We are trending all over France. This is huge news. The women who claimed Brigitte Macron was born a man are cleared of defamation because that's how the truth works. It's amazing that they even initially got convicted because of corruption, of defaming the French First Lady. It was this false conviction that the media then touted out as a win, saying,
Jody.
See, she's not born a man.
No.
But that actually wasn't what was at root of the case, as many of you guys know that have been following the series.
That was
anyways,
what she was trying to say, that she was really, that who they are saying she is really her brother. And so when she was asked to produce this brother, she couldn't. So that was just an excuse she was using. I just found your feed and I thought, you were going to be another person who just bashes. Candace has passed. And not everything she has done. Candace has passed. And not everything she has done. And it's very frustrating to see people jumping. Oh, no. No, Mandy. No. Now, I will honestly say, I have not always been a supporter, a fan, or agree with her views, but I appreciate that she has taken ownership and trying to make a difference. To me, biblically and spiritually, to me, that is what God says, a renewing of the mind. And if God honors that, if God requests that, and you see it, we have to embrace it, love and embrace it. A lot of times it's hard for us to change our way of thinking, our mindset, our views. You know, sometimes a lot of people can see the truth, know it, the truth, and it still will act like, you know, what they are doing is right and they know it's wrong. Like the major Trump supporters. I know they see this. I know that they know that a convicted felon should not have a political position of president. I know that we know that what happened on January 6th should not have happened. And that's another reason why he should not have been reelected. You know, so it's things like that. So when you see someone who acknowledged, you know, I was deep off in it. I know what's going on because I was a part of it. And we were wrong. And they killed Charlie Kirk because of it. Yeah, Candace has spoken about the black culture. Absolutely, so have I. So have I. I mean, maybe not to her degree, but with the Black Lives Matter, I believe that Black lives should matter to Black people first. I don't agree with everything just because we are Black, and that's just being honest. You know, a lot of things we do, I mean, as any other race, is trifling and manipulative and conniving. That's just Black, white, or whoever. So I did not agree with her. I did not agree with her views. I felt like she was a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But because she was a part of it, because she was a part of that, she's able to bring us a vision and insight that we would not have. We just would not have an insight with Bibi Netanyahu, President Trump, Eric, Charlie Kirk, all of that. We just wouldn't have an input that has reversed, respectfully reversed, decided to be a vessel. You see where I'm going with this? So yeah, she was a part of it. Yes, she spoke down, but now she is a vessel for God. You understand? She's a vessel for God. So if God is using her, who are we to judge her? What? I mean, this right here is a perfect example of redemption. And God is using her. And she's staying flat-footed and firm. Not for her, but for God. So, no. I'm not going to, again, like I said yesterday, God said that Christ came to save the world, not condemn it. Yeah, and she is having a renewing of the mind. Who I used to be, I'm no longer the person I used to be. We all come from a place. It may not be the same place, but we all come from a place. And if you say you didn't, you're lying, the truth ain't in you, says the Bible. And the reality of it is, if you're a believer in Christ, then you know her journey, all of it, was orchestrated before she was even placed in her mother's womb. Everything. This is kind of taps into what I was making mention of either yesterday or the day before, when we have been misled, and we are firm, we are solid, saying we have a choice. Yeah, we have a choice. We have a choice to accept Christ as our personal Savior. We have a choice. But even that choice was already orchestrated. God already knows our choice. We are just, we just rolling on our journey. Our every move is God's purpose and God's plan. Why, we don't know, because it's not our purpose, nor is it our plan. We're not here for ourselves. We are here for God's purpose and plan. And again, had she not experienced what she experienced and went through what she went through, we would not have this insight that we're getting. So, Lord, I thank you. had it not been for Charlie Kirk speaking so vile, just hateful and harmful to me. When I did chime in, had he not said that he was a firm believer in Jesus Christ, I would not have paid him any mind. I just wouldn't. And but that was a bell, an alarm went off. There's just no way. So I would not have been able to dig into the tricks of the devil in this regard had it not been for these people that God is using to reveal things that we did not have knowledge of. So we cannot just think in a box. God is bigger than any box. So we got to think outside our box. This is huge. This is gigantic. It is gigantic. And we just would not be privy. I honestly believe that I can honestly say I did not feel this way about Charlie Kirk initially. Neither one of them. But I thank God that I was obedient enough to not be so hasty to move and just shut down. And that I was obedient enough to observe this unfamiliar territory. So yeah, so I'm gonna say this so we can move on. Unless Candace do something just totally out of the will of God, I just totally opposite of the direction that she's going in right now. I'm just not going to allow anybody to come over here and badmouth her, because again, she is really helping us obtain knowledge and in a better understanding without assumptions, because she lived it. And so far, everything that she has said has measured up. Everything. And if she says something that she finds out that is not totally correct, then she comes back and correct it. You know how many people do that? Not many. I can tell you that now. They will move on as if, okay, so whatever. No, correct that, because she wants you to have the correct knowledge of what's going on. That's commendable. That's character. That's integrity. Okay, so let me backtrack a little. So I said this day, this time. I said this is offer day, or okay. So we was looking at this young man, this, and then so I was able to reach out to him, and I spoke to him, so we can X him off. That's just commend, and she's taking us along with her. She's not saying I did it. I'm this. No. So no. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she talked about black people. Okay. I talk about black people. It's some people on YouTube right now that can tell you that AunTeaFee went ham. Okay, and I mean, okay, and I don't think everything black people do is right. I don't think everything white people do is right. I don't think everything I do is right. So what? That's why I said, so what's the point? There's nothing you can say right now that's going to make me turn against this young lady right now. And although I did not agree with Charlie Kirk, I am still as concerned about who unalived him, whether I liked him or not, whether I understood his views or not. And I hope we all get to a place like that, because her sins, that's between her and God. Mine is between me and God. Yours is between you and God. God only allows us to judge a tree by its fruit. That's it. And I think that is to see if you be able to recognize God or the devil. Because the devil is not going to have good fruit. So when it comes time, and the deceit is disguised so well that it comes like right now, these Zionists are trying to come as Christians. Well, I mean, why would you add Christian Zionists? Why just be a Zionist if that's what you worship and that's what you're about? When the Rothschilds created this Zionist, whoever created it, it was Zionist. Why did you attach Christian to that? Why? To deceive. It's deceptive. And then again, here we go. Christians was thinking that this was about land between two brothers, and that's not true. So why are we in this? How did Christians get pulled into this that y'all got going on? Because God is clear. The devil comes to steal. They're stealing land, kill. They are genocide and destroy. They're trying to destroy the U.S. Kill, steal, and destroy. The Zionist movement, the pro-Israel, is doing all of that. So I commend her. I thank her. I thank her. And I will say it again. She took accountability for that. Yeah, take guts. Absolutely takes guts. And again, I'm going to say, whether she spoke down on black people, whether she like them or not, listen, I could go around and around with that. But we should all, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that old song, from the depths of my soul, we should all desire to have a friend like Candace. Because at this point, she is sacrificing her life. She is sacrificing her life to expose the trick of the devil. To somewhat warn and prepare us. Now, I know there's going to be some people who don't look at it that way. But I challenge you to look at it that way. Because she don't have to do it. She didn't have to, and she still doesn't. But she did. So, Lord, I thank you. So instead of judging the things that she has done, let's just pay attention to what she's doing now. Because again, we all come from a place. Okay, I'm going to move on. Let's go.
What has happened today is that the judges that were sitting at born a man, but that actually wasn't what was at root of the case, as many of you guys know that have been following the series. Anyways, what has happened today is that the judges that were sitting at the Paris Appeal Court on Thursday ruled that Amandine Roy, that is the 53-year-old clairvoyant, and Natasha Ray, and she has been absolutely fantastic. She's a 49-year-old journalist, blogger, and researcher that teamed up and first and foremost put Xavier Poussard onto this story when he was having trouble even finding basic facts about Brigitte.
Right, Mandy.
And she said, yeah, that's because Brigitte was born Jean-Michel Tragneau. And so now the court has ruled that they had every legal right to make those allegations. More specifically,
right, Denise.
Brigitte brought the case in regards to a 4-hour YouTube video broadcast where the two of these ladies were sitting down. And Brigitte is alleging that there were 18 instances of defamation. Well, the court has ruled that those 18 instances did not constitute defamation, or they were based in good faith. And like I explained throughout the series, they were never attacking, Brigitte was never attacking the claim that she was born a man. She was being super petty and trying to get them on a technicality of defamation for misspeaking. You know, they tried this with me. Oh, you said this photo was recolorized, but it wasn't actually recolorized. And then trying to get someone into the courtroom, and then the judge says, oh yeah, it wasn't recolorized. And you go, oh look, we won. It was defamation to suggest that this photo was recolorized when it wasn't. That was the game that they were playing so that they could give the journalists something to tout out as a win. Now they've come back and said, you know what, that's not enough, okay? That is actually not enough. These women did not defame you. And so their lawyers were cheering outside of court. I can't imagine what it feels like for Natasha Ray and Amandine Roy. Natasha Ray got sick with cancer throughout this. Brigitte did not care, has been attacking these women for being the first to expose what is so obviously true. And it's a major win. That's all we can really say. Both of these women had claimed that they were subjected throughout this time to intimidation by the authorities, by these ultra-protected members of the Paris establishment, these sick, perverted members of the Paris establishment that were trying to cover up a state secret. Why does it feel like this is happening everywhere in the world? Mm-hmm. Why does it feel like some perverted individuals are actually running the entire globe?
It does feel like that.
For Brigitte have said that they are.
That's why I say it's just not even big. It's gigantic. It's like, is this a worldwide thing? I'm like, oh my God, where did all of this come from? You talk about a clique, a cult. It's like, whoa. And why are they messing with these kids? It is just ugly. It is just awful. And then we have Bill Gates, who is the depopulation, and his mental attack on U.S. people. Where are he? He's over in Africa creating, what was that? Mosquitoes. And it's like, oh my God. And then now they have a new world parasite. It starts out a fly that is going to become flesh eating. And why does it have to be new world? How do you for a new world order? So this is the whole plan, including with Trump and all these foreign entities, to take over the United States. Their plan is to steal over there and over here too. The new world order. And then on top of that, now you're creating insects, just flies that's going to land on you. It's going to be lava, is going to spit out, and then it's going to be flesh, and then you're going to have these parasites that they don't even want to tell you that 95% of our sickness and diseases that they don't want to heal, and they don't want you to choose natural supplements to heal your body. They want to be able to manage this disease that they have shot in your arm. and now they're mastering that. That if you took that 2-part series, cocktail, it's going to designate within you and trigger off a autoimmune ALS. I mean, some type of sickness. And now you're trying to cut off Social Security because you're ready for them to expire, and that's money that y'all can use. But what? This is just how big and crazy all of this is. And again, some people think like that on a regular, but the average person do not. So if Charlie Kirk wouldn't have got assassinated in front of millions of people, and then we heard some of the vile things that he said in debating, right? And then his take on black people and women and whatever else crazy, Martin Luther King and just crazy stuff. Yeah, and then turned around and say, I'm a Christian, I believe a firm believer in Jesus Christ. Then no, yeah, we just wouldn't be here. We just wouldn't be here. It just did not make sense. It's like the stuff that Trump is doing just do not make sense. And then on top of that, you let it come out of your mouth that the people who firmly did not believe in you in Congress, in the Senate, should be hung. That's making America great again. Wow. It's going to be a police state. What's going to be a police state? And Charlotte is in the courthouse. I'm gonna have to look that up. You brought that up the other day. I don't know what that is, but I will look it up. Why is it only in Austin? I'm gonna enter it in my phone and then I'll look it up later so I can get back to it's a religious framework of for the Quran and the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad, and provides moral and legal guidance for daily life. What do you mean? It's in what? It's in what? It's in the courthouse. Okay, I'll do some research on it. Let me get back to what she's saying. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get back to it. Let's go.
These sick, perverted members of the Paris establishment that were trying to cover up a state secret. Why does it feel like this is happening everywhere in the world? Why does it feel like some perverted individuals are actually running the entire globe? Anyways, lawyers for Brigitte have said that they are devastated by this ruling, that they plan to take this now to the highest court in the French judicial system. And let me tell you, they're going to lose. Because Brigitte Macron is a man, was born a man, and so therefore she will die a man. Doesn't matter whether you put on lipstick on a pig, it will still die a pig. Brigitte and her team, like I was telling you, are just, they have been so vengeful and so disgusting, and at the end of the day, Natasha Ray was positively in the right in this scenario, and so congratulations to her, congratulations to their entire team, and congratulations to people that just have the courage to keep going when the entire world is pressuring.
Kubi, yeah, and for the people who have that 2-part, about a couple of weeks ago, yeah, it's some natural herbs that I think you need to take for like 3 months. If you only took the 1 one cocktail, and if you took the 2-part cocktail, that you should take it daily, consistently for like 6 months to flush out. What is it called? That protein? Spike protein. So there, I think it's 3 supplements that needs to be taken in order to rid you of that spike protein. If you Google it, you can find it. Yeah, so y'all be advised, because it is designed to begin to shut down. So a lot of people who took it are, a couple of years out, I think. Yeah. And then they start having sickness on sickness on sickness. And of course, it's managed care so that they can get paid. So those natural herbs will not be recommended to you. And depopulation. Yeah, it's blowing my mind right now that if you Google for dementia, if you Google can you have parasites in the brain? Don't. If you Google is dementia brought on by parasites, it'll say no. But if you Google can you have parasites in your brain, it'll say yes, and then it will mention dementia. Isn't that crazy? If you ask it right out, it'll say no. But you start talking about parasites on the brain, then it'll say dementia. So, can you kill parasites? Yeah. How? Natural supplements. You think the doctor's gonna tell you that? Nope. Yeah, so I guess you have to ask about, whatever sickness as could parasites. Can you have parasites there? Or parasites, do they contribute? And then that's how you get the real answer. And majority of the sickness in our bodies is because of parasites. Why else would they be creating a new parasite? It's called the New World. Oh man, what is the name of that thing? New World screwworm parasite. 2025 created. You understand? 2025 preparing for the New World Order. So they already have this parasite that is supposed to, that blows my mind. That blows my mind. What is it? Predictive. You're predicting that a certain amount of people are going to be attacked. So that's why I would tell the tea sippers, stock up on natural supplements, because whatever they're preparing, your body needs to, your immune system already needs to be up to par. And if something happens and things shut down, you will be able to have some natural supplements on standby, so that your immune system will be up to par, right? And avoid that. Avoid the cocktail. Okay? That's just my, don't say I ain't never gave you nothing. Don't say I ain't never told you, hey, it's not supposed to be here anymore. What's not supposed to be here anymore, Jody? Let me get back to this. I just saw Kubi Yeah, a message. Yeah, we just gotta be prepared for whatever's coming. Let's go. You
And
almost
journalists are
died
out there
from
like
toxic
assassins and
mold.
ninjas, trying to defame you, trying to caricature you as an unhinged, crazy, loony person.
Let me back it up because I don't know where we stop. Let's go.
A man was born a man, and so therefore she will die a man. Doesn't matter whether you put on lipstick on a pig, it will still die a pig. Brigitte and her team, like I was telling you, are just, they have been so vengeful and so disgusting. And at the end of the day, Natasha Ray was positively in the right in this scenario. And so congratulations to her, congratulations to their entire team, and congratulations to people that just have the courage to keep going.
Hold on.
To keep going when the entire world is pressuring you and the journalists are out there like assassins and ninjas, trying to defame you, trying to caricature you as an unhinged, crazy, loony person simply because you are telling the truth about who these elites actually are. Yeah, major win for all of those heroes out there in the world. And it's time for Brigitte to stop harassing women in general. Men should not be harassing women, full stop. She harassed me. I was pregnant, sending people to my door. Just cut it out, okay? Now,
sending people to your
door.
Whoa.
Person simply because you are telling the truth about who these elites actually are. Yeah, major win for all of those heroes out there in the world. Congratulations to their entire team, and congratulations to people that just have the courage to keep going. To keep going when the entire world is pressuring you and the journalists are out there like assassins and ninjas, trying to defame you, trying to caricature you as an unhinged, crazy, loony person simply because you are telling the truth about who these elites actually are. Yeah, major win for all of those heroes out there in the world. And it's time for Brigitte to stop harassing women in general. Men should not be harassing women, full stop. She harassed me. I was pregnant, sending people to my door. Just cut it out, okay? Now, it's pretty obvious that the journalists are already going to try to move the goalposts here. I couldn't believe this. I touted this win on X, and this journalist, American journalist, Yashar Ali, is just trying to gaslight us some more. All right, this is his tweet about the win. He writes, Candace, what evidence would satisfy you? Would you have to examine Brigitte Macron yourself? I feel like you would accept nothing less. No, actually, we would accept like a lot less, so I just want to be very clear, in case it hasn't been clear from the beginning. Maybe just some photos growing up with your brother, some photos of your first marriage, which lasted more than a decade of your life. You allegedly had 3 kids, some photos of you in the hospital, giving birth to those kids, raising those kids, growing up with those kids that you allege that you raised. We don't need to conduct a medical exam at this moment, just some photographic evidence that you existed for the first 30 years of your life. That would be great. Maybe wedding photos. I assume you took tons of wedding photos. Can we see who the maid of honor was? Just proof that it was you. I feel like we're not asking for a lot. How about school photos? Xavier Poussard won, by the way, in courts because for whatever reason, the school that Brigitte went to does not want to release the photo of Brigitte at school. And so when Xavier went to the school and said, actually, I won in court, you have to release this, the school said, don't care, we're not releasing it. That would do. School photos, I think. So this is a really low bar we're setting to prove that you existed for 30 years. You could go for a walk with your brother now, answer some questions, refuses to do absolutely everything. So you're not going to gaslight us for asking for a bare minimum requirement here, okay? Prove you existed for 30 years. Anyways, we know that it's not completely over, ladies and gentlemen, because it's not going to be over until the man in the wig sings. So much, by the way, has happened since we premiered our Becoming Brigitte series, including some more timely deaths and or suicides, whatever we're going to call this next thing. Wow. You're not going to believe the story. Let me show you guys this man. His name is Olivier Marley, okay? He was a French member of parliament who was committed to exposing what he described as a French ring of corruption, a Parisian ring of corruption that had global implications. Specifically, how he got involved here is he began investigating a sale that went through back in 2014. It was General Electric, like, you know, started in America, General Electric was able to acquire all of the energy assets from a French company that's called Alstom. Okay, Alstom's just a French energy company.
I'm going to enter it
into acquire all of their assets in a $12 billion deal. And when this happened, there was an uproar across Europe because the deal was so obviously not good for France. It was not good for the French people. It was not good for the French nation. We've spoken about this at length, but of course, with these aims to globalize the world, they want everybody to be dependent. They don't want any nation to be energy independent. They kind of want everything to come together, right? And they're going to control us, and we're going to like it. We're going to be slaves, and we'll enjoy it. Well, anyways, there was uproar across Europe about how bad this deal was. Why would you do this? Why would you sell your nation's assets? Why would you essentially betray French national interests?
I'm waiting.
And
hold on.
Really, this idea of global governance, people are calling this out. And what happens is Olivier begins investigating, like literally why this deal happened. And he discovers that Emmanuel Macron is in the middle of it. Emmanuel Macron had everything to do with this corrupt sale. From 2012 up until 2014, Macron, who we know was mysteriously brought up like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
Macron was
I was about to say. I was about to say it sounds familiar, like Epstein.
And his colleagues said he was obviously dumb, but for whatever reason, David Rothschild is in the middle of it. Emmanuel Macron had everything to do with this corrupt sale. From 2012 up until 2014, Macron, who we know was mysteriously brought up like Jeffrey Epstein, Macron was brought up through Roth.
Yeah, I mean, this all just kind of still sounds familiar. That same type of wig.
Child's bank didn't even know what EBITDA stood for, and his colleagues said he was obviously dumb. But for whatever reason, David Rothschild had his hand on this child and pulled him through the ranks. So
Donald Barr
resume to Jeffrey Epstein. You're a teacher, and now you're doing the biggest deals at financial banks. These people are frauds. They're actors. And so after he's done going through the Rothschild's bank, he then gets the position of the Deputy Secretary General of the Elysee Palace. He goes right into politics. And while he was in that role, he secretly commissions a report about the potential sale of Alstom. Like he's going in there like somebody on the outside, I'm not saying it's the Rothschilds.
Wow.
Is like, hey, we need you to, make this happen.
This is just blowing my mind. How familiar.
People are frauds. They're actors. Child's bank didn't even know what EBITDA.
Hell, what is EBITDA? It's just eerie. It's very eerie how similar it is.
Stood for, and his colleagues said he was obviously dumb, but for whatever reason, David Rothschild had his hand on this child and pulled him through the ranks so they could create this fake resume to Jeffrey Epstein. You're a teacher, and now you're doing the biggest deals at financial banks. These people are frauds. They're actors. And so after he's done going through the Rothschild's bank, he then gets the position of the Deputy Secretary General of the Elysee Palace. He goes right into politics. And while he was in that role, he secretly commissions a report about the potential sale of Alstom. Like he's going in there like somebody on the outside, I'm not saying it's the Rothschilds, is like, hey, we need you to, make this happen. So then it's 2014, and Emmanuel Macron mysteriously gets promoted to the Minister of Finance. And guess what he does? He signs off on that sale of all of France's energy assets under Alstom to General Electric. This is the Matrix, my friends. They're all actors. They're all actors. And they're all performers. There's a movie about that. I can't think of the name of it. Where essentially, we don't realize it's just like one great play that's being put on. And nothing in our lives is real. And that's how I feel about politics. Like, these are just bad faith actors that are either blackmailed or have been brought up through the ranks to do these sorts of deals when they have power to make people think that they're voting these representatives into office. Well, he gets that done. And then it's 2017, and Emmanuel Macron is ready to run for president. And he's able to raise a ridiculous amount of money to do this. I'm talking a record-breaking amount of money to do this. And you're never going to guess who gave him this money. Oh, the individuals that were linked to the deal, the General Electric deal. Oh, well, if he did that for us when he was the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Economics, well, you could only imagine what he'll do for us when he's President of France. Anyways, the most vocal and consistent critic against what he described as this corruption pact was Olivier Marley, a member of parliament. He would not let this story go. He is like me, not letting the story go of Brigitte Macron, because it matters that we have perverts that are in positions of power. It actually matters, especially because it seems to be they are a global family. And he made it his mission.
And it keeps
to expose
growing.
exactly how this deal happened, which means that he was up against some very dangerous people. He even chaired a commission that was tasked with probing that transaction. He publicly condemned Macron. And then he decided he was going to publish a book. He was due to publish a book about the corruption of this deal this September. But now, you guys, rather conveniently, he's been found hanging in his home, a noose around his neck just 3 days ago. This guy.
And you know, all of a sudden, everything seems to be hanging. And then the president of the United States said, you know, because you're telling people not to obey a command, illegal command, all of you should be hung. All of you need to die by hanging. Jeffrey Epstein hung. The other guy that was doing the same thing in Paris hung. I don't know if they said how Virginia Dufresne passed. Oh, excuse me, it's just too much. Let's come on. Another suicide. I'm getting the
Olivier Marley.
The supplements together.
Authorities have not yet determined whether it was suicide or whether it was foul play. So we'll leave it at that. I will just say these sorts of suicides are timely. I would say if they do rule it to be a suicide, it's going to be timely, because for those of you who have watched the Becoming Brigitte series, there just seems to be a lot of bad luck to people that happen to the individuals that are courageous enough to look into this couple. And don't worry, you guys, I'm all over it. Talking to Xavier, we're going to bring you as much as we can bring you and tie everything together for you. The Epstein picture, the American picture, the Israel picture. Yes, we are aware that doing this stuff is dangerous, but since it seems that all of the men that are in office, particularly here in America, don't have the courage to do it, what they're really doing is they're saying, we don't care what happens to your kids in the future. We are content with letting perverts rule the world. So we can't allow that to happen. There's a lot more. And I think what happened to this brave man probably answers the question that's been in the back of our minds this whole week. It adds to rather the speculation about why so many people in our government appear to be scared to stand up to these people. Because if you will harm a child, like I said this week, there is nobody that you won't harm. You will feel nothing as you murder, kill, destroy, steal, pretend that you had all of this success because you're clever, when in reality, you're just demonic. You're willing to do anything to maintain your status as a ruler of the world. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that note. I'm going to tell you about Prince Andrew because we have an update on that topic. But first, reminding you guys about Riverbend Ranch, because I gave you that challenge. I said, find a better steak. Tag me in it. You will not. I'm serious. If you've not heard yet about Riverbend Ranch, it's time that you did. Their beef has more flavor and tenderness than any beef that I have ever tasted. I mean that. Take it to the bank. The Angus herd at Riverbend Ranch is not your average Angus cattle, because 35 years ago, they decided to use ultrasound technology. The owner of Riverbend Ranch began scouring the nation to identify, it doesn't matter if you're keto, paleo, carnivore, first order at paleovalley.com/out. All right. Now, what else is going on? I will say we should probably discuss Jeffrey Epstein.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, we are. I'm sorry, Trumpy Bear, we are. I'm so sorry, but we have to. Now, you might recall that Virginia Giuffre was the victim who really came out. She has since passed away, but she came out and was naming names and was kind of the one that kind of broke the story in a really big way as one of the victims. And as a part of her story, you can see this photo that we're showing. She alleged that she was forced to have sex with the Duke of York. being Prince Andrew, in London, in New York, in the U.S. Virgin Islands when she was just 17 years old, and she named the homes that she was required to do that in. And she spoke about how Ghislaine Maxwell was central to that. She was very explicit in describing Andrew. She talked about how he was sweating and how he liked to dance. And so, I guess attempting to do the right thing here, the BBC sat down with Andrew, Prince Andrew, and they unpacked her allegations. They asked him, is this true? And in case you forgot, this is how Prince Andrew decided to respond to those allegations. Take a listen.
So you're absolutely sure that you're at home on the 10th of March?
Yeah.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you, and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have
he can't
baths,
sweat.
possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was, actually, yes, I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat. And it's only because I have done a number of things in the recent past that I'm starting to be able to do that again. So I'm afraid to say that there's a medical condition that says that I didn't do it, so therefore.
It's just unbelievable. You just can't make that up. Did she say dance? Oh no, don't be ridiculous. Dance. I have a specific condition where actually I don't have any rhythm, and so when a Madonna song comes on, I am known to never dance. Michael Jackson? No. I have a condition that when I hear Michael Jackson, I actually can't. That's what he did. He did that, guys. That's what he did. He just said that. It was a car crash. Interview, what an absurd thing. Also trying to like decorate yourself as a hero. And the reason I have this condition is because, let me remind you, that I was shot at in the war. And so, no, let's brush all that away. Yeah, not exactly the most believable excuse. Medical condition, which he now says has since been cured, because he's like, oh, I'm probably sweating right now. And he kind of is. So he then says, yeah, but since now I can sweat. I couldn't sweat then. What year was it? I wasn't able to sweat that year. I did not sweat once in 2008. That is, you can take that to the bank. I can't prove that, obviously, because it's not 2008, but I didn't. And I just want you guys, my listeners at home, to know that. Well, lucky for Andrew.
He's crazy.
Unlucky for us.
Yeah, please hit the like button. How long we been on? 2 hours. Please double tap.
He feels like he has a new lease on life. He's lifting his self-imposed travel ban.
He said then.
This is the headline that was in the New York
He said
Post.
then. I guess he's sweating his ass. I bet you anything. Y'all, those are the 3 supplements that you need to take. I just put them in there. I'm looking. It says, I think Amazon has the wellness company, Ultimate Spike Detox. They have a 3-in-1 that has all 3 of them. I'm just seeing that now, but those are the 3 supplements. If you took one cocktail, I think they said to take it consistently for 3 months. And if you took the two part spike, because that's the most potent part of it, 6 to 9 months straight, and that will rebuild the cells. I can't remember, but yeah, though that's it right there. Have you also heard about the nicotine helps breakdown? Oh no, I've not heard that. So are y'all able to see it in the comment section? Those are the 3 right there. Okay, yeah, so he's talking about he can't sweat. I bet you his ass was sweating while he was being asked those questions. Okay, great. Yeah, I bet you anything he is sweating his ass out while he's sitting there answering those questions about
use medical condition, which he now says has since been cured because he's like, oh, I'm probably sweating right now.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of is. So he then says, yeah, but since now I can sweat. I couldn't sweat then. What rhythm? And so when a Madonna song comes on, I am known to never dance. Michael Jackson? No. I have a condition that when I hear Michael Jackson, I actually can't. That's what he did. He did that, guys. That's what he did. He just said that. It was a car crash. Interview, what an absurd thing. Also trying to like decorate yourself as a hero. And the reason I have this condition is because, let me remind you that I was shot at in the war. And so, no, let's brush all that away. Yeah, not exactly the most believable excuse. Medical condition, which he now says has since been cured because he's like, oh, I'm probably sweating right now. He kind of is. So he then says, yeah, but since now I can sweat. I couldn't sweat then. What year was it? I wasn't able to sweat that year. I did not sweat once in 2008. That is, you can take that to the bank. I can't prove that, obviously, because it's not 2008, but I didn't. And I just want you guys, my listeners at home, to know that. Well, lucky for Andrew, unlucky for us, the FBI ended its probe into Prince Andrew. And now he feels like he has a new lease on life. He's lifting his self-imposed travel ban. And this is a headline that was in the New York Post. Prince Andrew free to travel abroad as the FBI ends its probe into the royals' Jeffrey Epstein links. And essentially, he did not leave the UK because he was fearful that he was going to be arrested while this was open, while the client list was open. If you didn't do anything, why would you be fearful of arrest? I don't know. Like, I'm not fearful of arrest, anywhere probably but in France. And if I'm being honest, I'm more fearful of, like, murder more than arrest. But it seems like if you didn't do anything, what are you so fearful of?
So, hold on, before I forget. So, that means... Okay, so, I mean, I'm sure I didn't watch all of her series with Brigitte Macron. So, I'm assuming, because initially when Charlie Kirk was first on the live, her and Tucker both were told that they had to lay low because there was a threat on their lives. And since then, I'm assuming with all her investigation work and her started to bring up was it Delaware that she brought up the other day, and come to find out the layovers, the Egyptian planes, and then they brought up the case against her in Delaware. It was somewhere similar to, somewhere that's not just like real common for all of this, the hangar and all of that. I'm assuming that that's what went ahead and triggered this. Let's just go ahead and pay somebody to take her out, like they did Charlie. Because when I say she was in there, and now she has somebody that has great intel as far as military, not necessarily military, or intel. So my phone just kicked me out when I said that, y'all. Are y'all still here? Are y'all still here? So do y'all see her? What do y'all see? It just kicked me out. Now on my end, my screen is brown. What do y'all see? It just kicked me out. Good night. Good night. Good night. Nothing. It's black. Oh, wow. Okay. It just kicked me all the way out. Hold on. I guess it didn't like what I was saying. Let me show y'all that. I guess it didn't like what I was out. It said blue. I mean, It said, no, you would not say that. Oh my, Big L. It's like, wait, what? What was that? I guess they said stop thinking, and just play, and stop thinking. You know, I already gave them natural supplements to to cleanse themselves from the detox, the spike protein, and now you finna go in there. Oh, the hell you are. It said click. Well, let's hurry up and finish, boo.
Of having these people go out and touting
Oh
this
my
as
God.
that he's you're gonna, by the way, the quotes that the source gave to the Sun, like whoever this person
I
is
hope
that's
her
close
security
to
is beat
that's
up.
close to Prince Andrew, decided to tell the Sun like he's gonna be out. And this is the quote. The person said,
She said, anyway, what was you saying?
Just once since the scandal erupted. He has always been very nervous about going abroad and felt that he'd always be looking over his shoulder as he could be subject to civil action or at worst being arrested. Hopefully with this out of the way, it means he can at least leave the country. What's he supposed to do with the rest of his life? He hasn't been convicted of any crime, and he can't just sit around doing nothing at the Royal Lodge forever.
Oh, and Andrew. Oh, she got jokes, y'all. Oh, I guess it's set up. You better take your ass to sleep.
Can you imagine being that rich? Right? Like, what am I supposed to do with this parcel of land, with these royal subjects? What am I supposed to do? Lunch all day? I'm a taxpayer's dime in the Royal Lodge forever? Don't you feel bad for me? I can't get on a plane and go anywhere because I'm fearful that someone's going to serve me with a civil lawsuit. So I've just been prancing around all of this property, these rolling hills and meadows. Well, you should have kept
your little prancing, dancing, musty, funky ass to yourself instead of playing with little kids.
For Prince Andrew, I can't even respond to that amount of tone deafness, because that is what it is, a tone deaf response to everything that is happening. How about trying to just shut up for at least a week while this is going on, while people are angry that it seems that people are getting away with these sorts of crimes if they are of a certain ilk in the club that we are not in, people that are ruling over us. This is just a bad faith response to all of that. Well, now I can leave and go to my other properties where my other friends have, because Epstein's not here, but I have other rich friends that also own islands. That's what it sounds like he's saying. Anyways, no charges are going to be brought against Andrew. That is the reality. Or anybody else. I guess it's case closed until me and Xavier team up and do a series. I guess the world is as upside down, and we go after innocent people like Justin Baldoni. And I just want to give you guys this update because it's going to get kind of crazy, that lawsuit, if you guys are following it. You might have seen that headline that there was a Daily Mail reporter that got subpoenaed into all of the saga. Maybe you missed it, but essentially he got subpoenaed. And he then signed a sworn affidavit saying that he mistakenly said to someone that Blake had been sexually assaulted. Anyways, this was touted out as a major win for Team Blake Lively, saying, oh, you see, I never defamed him. I never said sexual assault. And what's turned out is this reporter has now been fired from the Daily Mail. And we have a source that's telling us that he is now going after the Daily Mail because he believes that he was fired for the wrong reasons, because he actually wanted to be a whistleblower that could help out Justin Baldoni. Because way back in August, when Leslie Sloan was calling around reporters trying to see if there was this quote-unquote smear campaign in August of 2024, Leslie Sloan being Vision PR, Leslie Sloan being Blake's PR, and she's like, well, she's getting bad press, so people must be obviously going after her because they're being told to go after her, but it was all organic. She contacted this James Vitushka, and she was actually trying to plant stories about Justin Baldoni. She was saying nobody on the cast liked him. Justin Baldoni was not well liked. She said all of this stuff about Justin Baldoni, about why he was, forced to be in the basement at the premiere. But what she didn't say in all of that, while she spoke to James Vitushka, what she didn't say was that Blake had been sexually harassed. So if your client was about to bring forth a sexual harassment suit and you're now alleging a couple of months later that this all happened leading up to the premiere, wouldn't you have told that reporter? Wouldn't you have told James Fatushka, yeah, the reason he's in the basement is because he's a total creep and nobody feels comfortable around him because, you know, she has an open sexual harassment case. That could have been exculpatory evidence for Justin Baldoni. And what I'm hearing, sources are telling me, people that are at the Daily Mail, is that when he went forth to the HR and said, like, hey, I think I want to help out here because I know something, they told him, no, we'll take care of you, don't do that, and then essentially forced him to make a statement which supported Blake Lively's claims that he feels
it's a lot of this mess going on.
So stay tuned. I think a lot more is going to happen. Maybe this will allow them to refile some of their defamation claims. I don't know. I wanted to let you know that more is happening there, and it's just the never-ending lawsuit that everybody's getting dragged into. And hopefully I will be there outside of the courtroom dressed with Savannah in all pink, because I am here for this lawsuit. I am here for justice for Baldoni. I'm here for justice for everybody. And yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on that. All right, I'm going to get into some of your comments. Oh, look, we have 63,000 live today. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much. If you're enjoying this channel, please subscribe while you're here if you're watching this live on YouTube. First, before I get into your comments and remarks and questions, I'm going to tell you about the wellness company.
Oh, she be having...
Because you and your partner may be struggling to conceive right now if you took the COVID vaccine. There is definitely cause for concern, and you are not alone. So many people are going through this. There was a recent study, actually, that was done by a Danish researcher, Dr. Vibeke Menik. And it analyzed birth data from women that were aged 18 to 39 over a 2-year period starting in 2021. And the findings suggest that there was a significant decrease in birth rates among vaccinated women, with data indicating a reduction in egg count by nearly 60%. Terrifying. Since 2021, many regions around the world have seen a significant decline in fertility rates, together with an increase in miscarriage rates. The wellness company has created a 3-in-1 ultimate spike detox that is crafted with 100% natural ingredients, specifically designed to help your body clear harm.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can you believe this? Y'all do know I have never watched this before. And so for her to be talking about what we've just talked about, God needs, he wants y'all to know about a detox with the 3 ingredients. This, and y'all know I don't normally listen to the commercials. Yeah, God wants y'all to know about it.
Spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support overall health. So do not wait. Experience the only formula that is approved by Dr. McCullough, who's a top freedom-fighting doctor who risked it all.
That's who I was just talking about when I said that there is a... Oh, wow. This is freaky, y'all. I promise it's freaky. This is freaky. This is freaky. I'm sure this is was already here. Y'all, unbelievable. Did y'all hear me playing something just a minute ago? Did y'all hear while she was talking? I was listening to something. Huh? Did anybody hear it? Hold on. This is crazy. Look. Look, y'all. This is freaky to me. Look, right here. I was listening to it.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough, Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company. Thousands of patients have come into my clinic asking the same question. How do I get spike proteins out of my body? Ultimate Spike Detox is directly designed for my base spike detoxification protocol published in major medical journals. It's a clinical-grade natural detoxifier using powerful ingredients like bromelain, curcumin, and 4 times the nattokinase in our original spike support. Our extra strength formula binds, breaks down, and clears spike protein. Customer feedback has been nothing short of remarkable when it comes to improving or resolving long COVID symptoms. Results may be seen within a few months, but it can take at least a year to experience long-term change. By taking Ultimate Spike Detox, you are taking matters into your own hands so you can get back to good health.
Same people she's talking about. And the only reason why I did not show it, right, when I saw it, and I don't know if I said it a little loud or something, but when I saw the price, I was like, ooh.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough, Chief Scientific Officer.
Ooh. You know, because I get all 3 supplements separately. But I was just, when wow, it's interesting. But this is it. This is not what I take, but this is what she's talking about. And it's just a coincidence that I had put it up. And when I saw that $71.99, I said, ooh. And I just didn't say anything. But I think I said that this has a 3-in-1, but it's not what I take. But yeah, same thing that she's talking about right now. Are y'all still here? I take mine individually, but I'm consistent with it. Okay? That's how you get detox your body from the cocktail. God wants you to know. I gotta be obedient. Okay? Thank you, Lord. I normally don't listen to the commercials.
twc.health/Candace. Again, you can head to twc.health/Candace, and don't forget to use code Candace, and you'll get an additional 15% off plus free shipping. Again, you can get that spike detox, and you can detox your body today at twc.health/Candace with code Candace.
Wow. Yeah. I take it every. I don't take that one, but yeah. That's just amazing to me. Yeah. Yeah. I don't believe in coincidences. I really don't. So yeah. That's how you rid your body of and then that's how you rid your body, and then you gotta get on a sea moss or moringa and elderberry, everything that the doctors told us to take, recommended for us to take when they did not have a cocktail. When they did not have a cocktail, and all they could do is tell you the natural herbs and supplements, God-given supplements to build your immune system, until they got the cocktails. Then they said, stop taking that. No longer take that. And take this cocktail in your arm. Come back in 6 weeks, and then I'm hearing that you're supposed to still be getting it. So it's an ongoing thing. Oh, heck no. Heck no. And you can't tell us what's in it? Oh, yeah, no. So what about what I've been taking that you told me to take that's natural? Why? So you want me to stop taking that, and it helped us? I feel better than inflammation is down. I don't have you want me to stop taking it? Oh, hell no. No. I wish I would. No, you've already gave us the formula. No. But they didn't have a choice. So a shout out to this doctor, because that's exactly what I was told to take. So let's go, y'all. God wants you to know. So tell the Lord thank you, and start detoxing. And absolutely everybody has parasites. Some of the stuff they spray, everybody got them. I'm gonna just say that everybody has parasites. And they have created a new one that's flesh eating. Do I need to show it to you? So start detoxing. Okay. I want us to be here for a long time. Let's go.
financing, because if you could delay 2 mortgage payments, why wouldn't you? Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket, finally getting a little bit of breathing room. It's possible. If you call American Financing today, if you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on their credit cards now. There doesn't seem to be a way out. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt. So call American Financing today
hold
before you
on.
get to the point where you can't make those
What
payments.
time is it? I know. And this is the new parasite. Schoolworm fly. Hold on. So y'all won't think, AunTeaFee, you just crazy as hell. It starts out a fly. It look like maggots. So that's what it's going to turn into once you, yeah. It's called New World Parasite. Screwworm. Where has it been? You know how I think. Where it come from? And why does it say New World? Huh? In the womb of warm-blooded animals. Parasite. And they lay eggs. Feed no living tissue. August 2025, June 2025. So this is new. This is new. So this is some new shit.
Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Michelle Arner. She's with the University of Kentucky, a ruminant extension veterinarian there. Today we're going to talk about something that's been in the news a lot, and it's about the screwworm. And we've heard about screwworm before, but what makes this different?
Well, this is actually the New World screwworm, which is native to the Western Hemisphere, but we do not have it in this country. And we eradicated it in
they said this is because they said that they had their first case.
In 2016 in Florida in Keys, but it didn't last very long. So this is a new threat to the United States, and the importance of it is the adult female lays eggs in a wound or in a mucous membrane. It doesn't even have to be a wound, but the difference.
So it's gonna be in the meat. So they don't spike the meat.
Feed on living flesh, on live flesh, versus other maggots which eat dead flesh, which is not so bad. But these actually burrow in deeply and consume living flesh. So they can actually lead to death within about a week if they go untreated.
And so the Secretary of Agriculture has stopped the movement of cattle.
Correct. It could be in any warm-blooded animal. So dogs, cats, sometimes birds, not quite as often. Horses, people, anything can actually carry this larvae into the United States, and that's what we're afraid of. Is if it goes undetected, and those larvae actually make it out of the wound and into the ground, well, then we've started a new life cycle.
How did this progression start?
We had the flies confined down past Panama since the mid-60s, with very few incursions north. But as there's a lot of travel from South America and Central America, they think it probably hitched a ride on either people or pets. So the only control measures we have are the release of sterile male flies. And the only facility is down in southern Panama. So as it got beyond where those sterile males were, then it could continue to go north. They irradiate these.
Good night, Mandy. Yeah, you talking about for the vaccine? I mean, to get it out your system. I put it in the comment section. Good night.
Her eggs will not survive. so that over time, we end up with many, many more sterile males than we have the true fertile males. And that will
It's crazy.
wipe out the population. The outbreak.
Yeah, you know, just be advised. When we start hearing about it, I don't, and I just, why would you name it the New World? What type of, what is that? The New World. Okay, y'all, let me go to sleep. I will, yeah. Yeah. I'm sleepy. Ain't y'all sleepy? And I will research that law, Jody. I'll research it and see what it's about. Okay, good people, can I go to sleep? Good night, good people. Can y'all hit the like button on the way out? I think I was finished. Let me just double check to make sure nothing else is popped off. I would hate to look back and something popped off and I did not double check. So hold on. Yeah, it's been a lot. Good night going on with Israel. Yeah, I want to get this worm up off my history. I don't want them showing me no worms. A lot going on with Israel and Putin. She saw Trump. I did that one. Breaking legal. I wanted to see this. It's the only thing. But
sports betting is here, Missouri. Unlock a huge $365 in bonus bets on December 1st when you bet just $10. Win or lose. Kick off your sports betting journey the right way at Bet365 and grab $365.
Oh, these commercials have gotten long.
Did someone take some of my candles? They're not all here.
Sweet dreams.
Welcome to the Tara Palmieri Show. I want to start this episode with some of my exclusive reporting because so many of you have reached out to me, whether through email or comments, and I read all of them, about a Jane Doe, a woman we've never heard from.
I'm not going to watch it all.
The Epstein case and President Donald Trump.
Jane Doe.
As many of you may remember, there was a woman who alleged before the 2016 election that she was raped by President Trump in Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse when she was just 13 years old in 1994. In that case, she said, I loudly pleaded with defendant Trump to stop, but he did not. She also claimed that Trump threatened her and her family if she ever spoke out.
Right. See? Okay. Yeah, okay. I wanted to talk about this because earlier when I showed the other lady and I said that it was, when we watched the impeachment, it threw me off when we was watching the rally. So I had intended to come back here because they are intentionally not showing the women, the females and boys that Trump ate. Okay? And indeed, there are some. And I had made mention because in the Epstein emails, the Katie little girl, she's grown now, is mentioned. And so he's freaking in addition to everything because he knows that that other lady I showed y'all earlier, this one, let me get to her. her, she has a odd name, so I don't know her name. Yeah, no, this picture. She was trafficked by Ghislaine Maxwell and introduced to Epstein, as well as she was trafficked to Dirty Diaper. Okay? So, earlier I was saying that Katie, the little girl that there was a legal lawsuit created that included Epstein and Trump, and it was dropped because she was threatened and her family was threatened. But there is a legal documentation that is in the record regarding Donald Trump aping her and Epstein. So when it came out and the names were redacted in Trump's cabinet, Levitt said that it was Virginia. And I said, no, I don't believe that. Because Virginia didn't say that she ever met with Trump at Epstein's house. She said that she saw him at Mar-a-Lago, not Epstein's house. So I didn't think that it was speaking about Virginia. But that's the only name that they're going to use. One, she's not here, and two, she spoke well of Donald Trump, right? So when I saw this and I saw this lady here, I'm knowing that those females are coming out. And this is also the freak out. The freak out. Because their names are coming out. And Katie, the little girl, is in the emails. Or the files.
President Trump has denied these claims. But I always wondered what were the townhouse when she was just 13 years old in 1994. In that case, she said, I loudly pleaded with defendant Trump to stop, but he did not. She also claimed that Trump threatened her and her family if she ever spoke out. Now, President Trump has denied these claims. But I always wondered what were the circumstances around this case, and why did this Jane Doe, who filed 3 times using the pseudonym Katie Johnson, decide to drop her lawsuit before she was supposed to do a press conference just days before the election?
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to Michael Cohen about it. You might remember that interview. I had to ask him because he was Trump's fixer at the time, and he was the guy who handled these problems for President Trump, right? At the time, it was Stormy Daniels who was speaking out, Karen McDougal. He gave them the hush money. So certainly he would have had to deal with a Jane Doe related to Jeffrey Epstein who claimed that she was raped by President Trump. And so I asked him about it. And you'll remember that interview. It was really contentious. Take a listen here.
Only case that I was involved with was a Jane Doe, an infant, by and through her mom, Mary Jane Doe, right, as legal guardian. That case was dismissed not because of anything that I spoke to the lawyers, and I've talked about this a million times. I turn around and I receive this summons and a complaint, and the averments in it are awful. They're despicable. It talks about basically rape of an underage female, claiming and alleging that Donald was involved in it and all that other nonsense. I ended up taking a private investigator and trying to find out who this person was. Well, I spoke to the lawyers, and I've talked about this a million times. I turn around and I receive this summons and a complaint, and the averments in it are awful. They're despicable. It talks about basically rape of an underage female, claiming and alleging that Donald was involved in it and all that other nonsense. I ended up taking a private investigator and trying to find out who this person was. And we went to the address that allegedly this minor lived at in the Bronx. Well, lo and behold, the investigator responds back and says the only thing that's there is an empty parking lot. There's no building there, it's an empty lot.
If you keep listening, you'll hear what Michael Cohen said. He said that Trump told him it was bullshit and that he should handle it. He also told me that he sent a private investigator to find her based on an address that was filed in the lawsuit, and it brought him to a parking lot in the Bronx. And so he then contacted a lawyer, he said a male lawyer, who said they had never met their client before, and that it was bullshit.
But when you asked, you had to have asked Trump about it, though, when you were like, well,
I did ask him. He told me it was bullshit. Take care of it. I said, okay.
That was it.
That's it.
It's bullshit.
He said, bullshit, never happened.
Were you like, there's all these pictures, is this going to be a problem around the same time?
No. I said, you sure? I said, you sure? He goes, Michael, it's bullshit.
That's just the way he communicates. Like, you don't get much more info than that.
It's what he told me on this one.
Yeah. And you believed him.
100%. Then he said to me, let me know what happens. I said, sure.
Obviously, I had to follow up on this. And by the way, why would a Jane Doe put an address of a parking lot in the Bronx? Well, maybe she doesn't want to put her real address because she doesn't want to be harassed by private investigators or goons. I remember Jane Doe 1, Courtney Wild, saying that when she was going up against Jeffrey Epstein, that she had private investigators stalking her and they almost ran her off the road. This is why so many victims of
like Virginia names
like Jane Doe to be anonymous. But yeah, there's just so much fascination around Katie Johnson because she's never come forward again. And so I had to keep digging. So I called the lawyers. I called Lisa Bloom. She didn't get back to me. I called Thomas Meagher. He didn't get back to me. I reached out to Evan Goldman. He didn't get back to me. But I did hear from one of Katie Johnson's lawyers, Cheney Mason. And he spoke to me for the first time in a decade, nearly a decade. He is telling the story of his client as much as he can tell without violating attorney-client privilege. But here are some of the things that he told me, which I found to be really interesting. I'm going to read them to you so I get it right. These are his quotes. The first thing that he told me that was very shocking was, he said, I don't know if my client is still alive.
Oh, wow.
I would have been the happiest I've ever been if she came forward because I've seen women on television in the category of victim who tell such a similar story to what happened to her. It's
Did y'all hear that?
Read them to you so I get it right. These are his quotes. The first thing that he told me that was very shocking was, he said, I don't know if my client is still alive. He said, quote, I would have been the happiest I've ever been if she came forward because I've seen women on television in the category of victim who tell such a similar story to what happened to her. It's almost like they're quoting the affidavit I filed 9 years ago. Let's not forget that this Jane Doe filed this lawsuit in 2016 before Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in 2019, before the world knew the horrors of his sex trafficking operation, the full extent of it, thanks to the reporting of Julie K. Brown at the Miami Herald. Here, I want to tell you some more of the conversation that I had with Cheney Mason. We spoke over a number of days. I really wanted him to come on the podcast, by the way, but he did not want to come on the podcast. He said this was all he could tell me, but he said I was free to use it. He said, we never have known why our client insisted on dropping the lawsuit. We don't know where she is. We hope she's alive. So they still don't know why she dropped the lawsuit. Lisa Bloom told reporters that she was getting threats. Here's another thing he told me. Her lawsuit is often disregarded because President Trump denied it and she dropped the suit. But he thinks that the mainstream media should still be paying attention to it. And I called out CNN for saying that there were no allegations against President Trump in connection to Jeffrey Epstein. And in Cheney's own words, he said that he met with her over several days, he and his team. They flew her from California, and he said quote, several of us interviewed her and questioned her before we went through the process of filing the suit. He said, I sent private investigators to verify her story. I sincerely wish I had the ability to reveal everything, to find the client, confirm her true identity, and try to convince her to back it up. There's no doubt in my mind that she told the truth of everything that's in her lawsuit, period. That's right. He said, there is no doubt in my mind she told the truth. Now, Katie Johnson, it's almost a mythical figure at this point because she has never come forward again. I have never met her. I am not planning to go find her. I think if she wants to come forward, that's up to her. I'm not going to hound her or harass her. That is her right. We don't know why she didn't want to go forward. We know that Lisa Bloom said she was experiencing threats, and I could understand why she might want to live a low-profile life, especially now that the person that she is accusing of rape is in power. But I just wanted you to get that update, and I'm going to talk about it more in the upcoming podcast with Reed Gallen. He has his own podcast called The Homefront. This is a Substack interview that we just recorded on Wednesday. We also talk about the news of the day. I hope you all enjoy it, and thank you again for being subscribers on YouTube, Spotify.
Okay, y'all. Wow. What else can I say? I pray that she's still alive. This is bizarre. Okay, good people. Good night. Poor baby. I know. 13. And that's the little girl that he told her that she looked like his daughter. She looked like his daughter. And he aped her. Sickest shit ever. Okay, good night. I'm going to sleep on that.